Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for a massive game of the Rugby Championship 2024 competition. This one a rematch of the Rugby World Cup final. It's not too often you can say that, although, to be fair, we get to say it quite a few times before the next World Cup in Australia. We get to say it next week when these two sides go head to head for the second time in a row. And at the moment, the way that the Rugby Championship sits, if South Africa can get themselves not just one but two wins on home soil, that would put them in the absolute box seat to win this Rugby Championship competition. But the Freedom Cup also on the line, something that South Africa haven't been able to get their hands on in quite some time, but momentum seems to be different at the moment. There is a feeling as if this game could go both ways, but also that South Africa come in as the favourites. We're going to have to wait and see exactly how this match does go. But South Africa, throughout their first two games, they were able to beat the Australians in both of them. Both comfortable, 44 points in their points differential. New Zealand, they had a rough start to the Rugby Championship. They did get defeated by the Argentines, losing that game, not even getting a bonus point in it, but then winning their next game comfortably up against Argentina by a similar margin to what they did in the Rugby World Cup semi-final. So they sit on 5 points. So the only way for New Zealand to move into first place at the end of this round of the Rugby Championship would be to beat South Africa by 11 points, also receive the bonus point for 3 or more tries than your opposition, and alongside that, South Africa can't be within 7. So there's quite a bit that has to go New Zealand's way to somehow go to number 1, but at the moment the box, like I mentioned, sitting comfortably after the first 2 rounds. And looking through at those first 2 rounds, the first of which, South Africa winning their game up against the Australians 33 points to 7. I'll be honest, under the Joe Schmidt new coaching, some people thought it was going to be a lot closer, but just seemed like the Boks were the better side on the day. Australia really struggling territorial-wise throughout that contest, as well as just lacking possession, making the most of it every opportunity they had. South Africa in that one. And then in the second game, it was a little bit closer, but not by a huge amount. South Africa playing a very experimental side in that match and still winning it 30 points to 12, showing off the depth that South Africa has at the moment up their sleeve. For New Zealand, they were defeated in that first game, like I mentioned, 38 points to 31, point away from receiving a losing bonus point. And then in their next game, they fired back well, 42 points to 10. Actually a very similar lineup to what it was in that first match, but seemed to work a lot better. The team gelled a lot more, and it's a pretty similar team to what we're seeing out there on the field for this game up against the Springboks. But looking through at the chat, there are a lot of you here already. I do appreciate every single one of you for being here. Just to clarify, the game does start in about 1 hour and 25 minutes. It's a long time, but it's going to fly by. We've got so much to go through that 1 hour just wasn't going to be enough. We've got stats for days, including some very interesting ones about these two sides and how close they have been in their last few outings, as well as for this Rugby Championship. Some of the stats you can hardly split between these two teams, even though they've played completely different sides, pretty much in completely different areas of the world as well. We have got hi from Daniel. Hope you are doing very well. We have got a new channel member, William, so hopefully you do enjoy using those emojis. I went to sleep at 5 p.m. Just woke up. I'm ready for a good test match. Says Kyle, and what is the kickoff time for everyone? So here in New Zealand, it is 3 a.m. In South Africa, it will be a 5 p.m. kickoff, so be sure to tune in for that. Of course, we are going to be doing the commentary on the channel. It is going to be must-see this game. A Rugby World Cup rematch of the final. It doesn't get much bigger than that. We have got there, hi Hamish, hi all, says Aniki, welcome in. Hope you are keeping very well. Hi, let's go South Africa, says Caitlin. Hawke's Bay Van beat us, or can beat Australia, says Daniel. Of course, they've got the Ramfurly Shield Challenge next week up against Tasman. We might even be doing the commentary on the channel as well. We have got my nerves a shot. Huge build up here in South Africa. Almost everyone got their Bok jerseys on. Good luck to our Kiwi brothers. May the best team win and no cards, please, says Sucker Bully. Yeah, interestingly enough, these two sides have received quite a few cards throughout the start of their Rugby Championship. South Africa receiving the 3 so far. They're the most ill-disciplined when it comes to the card numbers, but also a few other interesting stats I saw about the South African side could maybe make it a little bit of a nervous game going into this match at Ellis Park. The Ellis Park record, I think it's the last 6 that New Zealand have played in South Africa. They have won 5. So those type of numbers, you know, maybe they're the evening factor in this contest. Can you please stand up? Says Sean, I would rather not. I've got my track pants on, so I haven't really got the bottom half of the suit on. What was you sleeping schedule past 24 hours? It hasn't been great. I'll be honest, we've been up at some pretty random times, but at the same time, I think I've still almost managed enough sleep to be able to go right through this one, as well as the next game, Argentina versus Australia. It is happening at midnight South African time, so a little bit of a later start for you guys in SA. Well, good afternoon, Hamish. You're looking smart as usual. You stand in the chat, or you start in the chat really early. We are indeed, but there was just too much to go through for this contest. I knew that the chat was going to be hectic as well, so I wanted to try my best to be able to read as much of it as I can. When's kickoff? It is in an hour and 25 minutes time, so 3 a.m. New Zealand time is when this one is going to be starting. How are you doing today, says Yako? Doing very well, very excited. I've spent pretty much all day looking at stats, to be honest, and just getting prepared for this matchup. It's one that a lot of people have been anticipating since the fixtures were announced for the Rugby Championship. We knew New Zealand were going to be playing South Africa twice in South Africa, and this is a really good shot for not just the veteran players, but also those younger guys who have been named in this side. You know, you look at the 10 for South Africa, Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu. He only recently got himself his debut cap, and now he finds himself the starting 10 ahead of someone like a Andre Pollard and ahead of Mani Libok as well, someone who has fallen down the rankings of that South African fly half role. For New Zealand, you see a couple young guys there off the bench. Sam Derry getting the chance, Tamaiti Williams in the starting lineup. I mentioned about it in my preview. There's a 288 kg battering ram colliding in this matchup. That is Tamaiti Williams, Franz Malharba. The two men weigh a lot, but they just know how to scrum well. And that's what's going to make it such an awesome game. If DJ passes the ball instead of kicking, all the time ABs will win, says Brian. And living 5 minutes away from Ellis Park, but we'll be watching the game online, says Music Anime. I assume this game sold out pretty quickly. I can tell you that right now, because this is the type of atmosphere that Johannesburg, it's just going to be lit up for this contest. And I do hope it's a close game and both sides have their moments, because that's just what people love to see when these two sides go head to head. If it's a close game, gets you on the edge of your seat, just like that Rugby World Cup final. We have got this All Blacks team is not evolving, says Manny M. Well, when you look through at their lineup compared to South Africa, you could certainly say South Africa have gone with, I want to say, the riskier lineup, but also riskier in a good way. You know, you've got Ruan Nokia, Ben Jason Dixon, Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, as well as Apelele Fasi. Those are 4 young players that could be the future. Now, I know Nokia is a little bit older, but he's looking more and more like Ludiacha every time we see him play. I think it's the beard and the hair slowly evolving into Lud. Is the game on now, Hamish? Not quite. It is an hour and 20 minutes away. And like and subscribe because you're wearing a suit at 3 a.m, says Nobella. Thank you very much, mate. We do wear the suit for the big games, and there are none that are bigger than this matchup of the Rugby Championship. Next week, we're going to see the two sides go head-to-head again, which is just absolutely awesome. The fact that we don't just get it once, but we get it twice. It's going to be a little bit similar, I think, to the South Africa Island series, how people will be begging for a third match if it is equal after the 2 games. But for that to happen, New Zealand need to play very well. And at this first test, looking through at the starting lineups, we haven't even mentioned who is in them other than those couple players mentioned before. But Ox Neshe at number 1, Bongio Manambi at 2, and Franz Malharba, the big man, as the number 3. A lot has been made about Tamaiti Williams and the size of him, 144 kgs, pretty tall. Franz Malharba, he is the same weight and only a little bit shorter. So, I think that we've got so used to the size of Franz Malharba that it's become a regularity. No one really goes, that man's massive anymore, but they should, because he is. Him and Tamaiti, I mentioned about it in the preview, I want the ball to be dropped a few times in this game, just so that we can see 5 or so scrums between those two. Get some sort of indication of who is the better in the scrums with their side, because there is a chance that if we hardly see the ball dropped, we won't get to see those two clash at the scrums, and it's just a dream for anyone who loves a scrum. You're going to love this game, I can tell you that. Right now, Peter Steph-Tatoy, he is at 4. He has played 5 and he has played 7 so far throughout the Rugby Championship. He's also got some impressive stats to his name. Already, Peter Steph-Tatoy, he has had the most clean breaks, tied with Kutli Arunsa in the Rugby Championship. That is very impressive with the fact that he is playing as a forward. He has also had 27 carries. Alongside that, I believe he's had 23 tackles made throughout his first 2 matches. So a busy man And we have to remember what he did to Geordie Barrett in that Rugby World Cup final. That is a matchup that we could see taking place again here. Rua Nokia plays at number 5. Now, I should mention, originally Eben Etzebeth wasn't even named in this 23-man Springbok side, but he was cleared to play, so he goes in off the bench rather than Marco van Staden to have that real impact. 13 turnovers won, or lineouts won for Eben Etzebeth so far throughout this Rugby Championship, the most of any player, clearing anyone else by about 4 or 5, so definitely a player to have off the bench as he gets closer to the most capped Springbok ever. But Sia Khaleesi, the captain, he is at 6 with Ben Jason Dixon as the 7, and Jasper Visser returns from his huge layoff after getting suspended in the Gallagher Premiership. I talked about it as well on that preview. Anyone who hasn't watched it, of course, be sure to check it out. A little bit of a plug there, but he's had so long to wait. Like, the bloke, I almost have forgotten how he plays just because we're used to seeing him week in, week out for the Springboks, and now we've had to wait like 3 or so months. The Gallagher Premiership's almost starting back up, but that man is still waiting to get his first minutes for the Springboks, and now he gets that chance. So the last thing, and I mean the very, very last thing we want to see here, is a red card for Jasper Visser, because or else then he might be waiting another like 5 months before he gets another opportunity at international level. But the 19 combo, it is a dangerous one for the green and gold. Kobus Reinach, number 9, Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu as the 10. It is a combination that we saw work in the contest up against the Australians. Kobus Reinach, he's just one of the greatest players at the moment in terms of being able to use his pace to his advantage around the side of a breakdown, and having that vision of the youngster at 10 alongside that unpredictability. Now, he doesn't like a rainy game. Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu, we learnt that when he played up against Australia in the second match, was his worst performance in a Springbok kit, yet he still didn't play too badly, which I think is a massive testament to the potential and the future for Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu. Damien Delende in the midfield alongside Jesse Creel, the stock standard for the Boks, which is extremely dangerous when they have ball in hand. Kutli Arendse and Cheslin Colby out on the wings. Kutli Arendse, his last 2 games up against the Australians, he has scored 5 tries. He is a leading try scorer, tied with 2 other men, one of which being a Springbok, the other of which being in this All Blacks side with 2. Apalele Fasi, number 15, rather than Willie LaRue. For him to be starting, Rassi has said he's putting that foot forward towards the future. He's great under the high ball. Just like Scott Barrett, though, he's known to pick up a card or 2. But looking through at the chat, a Bokby Team Said Sports fan, I would say no. I think that the Springbok side has a really, really good combination at the moment of the experience as well as the informed young players. And there's a misconception that as soon as you put a young player in your side, it's a B team, but it just isn't, because half the time the young players are showing up the older team. We've got to look at that game up against the Irish. Sorry to bring it up, but the Springboks had their most experienced ever side take to the field and they lost that game. Sometimes experience is great, but other times it can hold you back. And I feel like this game, we will get to see these young guys flourish. Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu, some would say debatably, is playing better than Andre Pollard in the last little while. So that is why he's in the starting lineup. He has managed to earn those minutes, and it's going to be great. Cracked energy for being up so early. Speed talking, love it, says Caitlin. Yeah, I'm very excited for this game because it's just going to be an awesome one. I see that there are about 200 messages that I've missed, so I do apologize, ladies and gents. Is that a clip-on tie? I forgot how to tie one. Haven't done it since high school many moons ago. It is actually tied up properly, like under the collar. I don't want to mess it up. There we go. You can see that it is actually a real tie. I've did it a double Windsor knot. Had to look up YouTube, see how to do that. Game starting in 1 hour and 17, right, says Xavier. Exactly right. It is not too far away. And to be honest, the fact that we've already been going for almost 15 minutes shows just how much I'm talking, to be honest. And I'm still going to be talking all throughout the next 90 minutes or so as we build towards the kickoff of this game. But we've talked about the South African side in terms of their starting lineup. We do need to look through at New Zealand. They've had some decent moments throughout this Rugby Championship, but also at the same time, they had a little bit of a hiccup in their first game up against the Argentines, losing that game 38 points to 30. When does the game start? It does start in 1 hour, 15 minutes time. So 5 p.m. for you guys in South Africa, and then alongside that, it is going to be a 3 a.m. kickoff for us here in New Zealand. But looking through at the starting lineup for New Zealand in this game, Tamaiti Williams, he moves into the starting lineup. That is due to the injury that we did see of Ethan de Groot, meant that he was not available for this game with a neck injury, and it does now give that opportunity to the man mountain, Tamaiti Williams. Crusader, number one, he changed scrums in that second game up against Argentina. The All Blacks a lot more dominant in that regard, and perhaps the Ethan de Groot injury, as bad as it is for de Groot, it's actually going to open up a massive door for Tamaiti Williams to go through. And when you look at that man, he does need a massive door because he's a massive bloke, and he's going head-to-head with a massive bloke in Frans Malherbe. So that's going to be very exciting when it comes to the scrums. Cody Taylor at number 2 and Tyrell Lomax is there as the number 3. Pretty unchanged in those two positions for the All Blacks throughout this Rugby Championship. We do see the return of Scott Barrett at number 4. He hasn't had any minutes throughout this Rugby Championship as of yet. The All Blacks actually having the best line-out throughout any side in this Rugby Championship competition, averaging just over the 90%. Scott Barrett not involved in that, whereas up against the English, the All Blacks line-out was very much so struggling. So I'm curious to see, can Barrett continue that percentage that they've been able to build up against the Pumas, or will this be the slight decline in terms of line-out accuracy? Definitely up against a side like South Africa, who will contest every opportunity they get at line-out time, but they don't have RG Snyman, and they don't have Eben Etzebeth, at least in the starting lineup. He will be dangerous later on in the game, but I think New Zealand need to find their feet early, use their line-out well, and just try and dominate set piece. As tricky as it is to say, some of the stats that I've got a little bit later on would say that it is possible to do so up against South Africa. But Tupavai, he has been playing 4 with Sam Derry as the 5, but this time Tupavai now moves into that number 5 jersey. He's actually made 34 tackles so far throughout this Rugby Championship, the second of any player. The next man, Ethan Blackadder, he has made the most tackles out of anyone in the Rugby Championship. He has made 40, so that is massive for that man. He's a workhorse. He's playing blindside. There were talks of whether or not he would move to open side perhaps to give Sama Penifenau a chance at 6, but they have got a veteran in the number 7 jersey. And when we talk about this man, we talk about the redemption that he wants to bring for this All Black side. Of course, we don't have to really say too much. Sam Cane Rugby World Cup final. People don't want that to be a reoccurring situation, I guess you could say, but he did receive that red card. He has to get redemption here in South Africa. It's going to be tricky because they will push him and they will try to get him fired up and try and get him to make a mistake. But he's only had a few minutes coming off the bench up against Argentina in the last contest. Now opportunity for Sam Cane in that starting side alongside Ardie Savia, who is playing as the number 8. Now Savia, he has had the most carries out of any player in the Rugby Championship with 37, 10 ahead of Peter Steph-Toy, who is second. So I think that for this game anyway, the All Blacks in that 4-pack, they need to be physical, but they need to get that ball through Ardie Savia's hands, as that is where they can make those meters. TJ Perenara and Damien McKenzie, they will be the starting 9-10 combination in this fixture. Perenara, he has been questioned about whether or not he should be the starting option here. I believe they've gone with him for the experience, but also because of his kicking. They think that it might be a little bit stronger than Cortez Aratama. McKenzie, he has scored the most points out of any player in the Rugby Championship at the moment, sitting with 32, almost double Sasha Feinberg Ngumezulu, who is second in the overall standings. Geordie Barrett at number 12, Rieko Ioane at 13. Combination the All Blacks have persisted with, slowly starting to find their form. Caleb Clark out on the left wing, Will Jordan out on the right, and then Beauden Barrett at number 15 to close out this New Zealand lineup. But now I've missed another 100 messages, unfortunately, so hopefully you guys are all doing well. By the way, I will be going back and reading the messages that I did miss, like, later. I don't know why I struggle to say later, but we are going to be going back and reading through those ones. So anyone who puts a message in, you will eventually have me react to it after the live stream. Please read my previous comment. I can probably not even find it, Marius. I would say, or sorry, Manus. There it is. What a game which awaits us. Hopefully no injuries, and for sure, hopefully no cards. Let the best team win and go the Bok, says Manus. And there as well, we have got, I would give Razor until the end of the year. If results don't improve, he should be sacked. Bit premature, you could say. They lost one game, and now all of a sudden everyone's trying to sack him. Remember when Fozzie was coach and everyone wanted to sack him, even though he did all right in some regards? Like, I feel like it's very early to get rid of the coach already. And that is a mistake that we've seen so many sides time and time again do, and then they regret it in the long run. I'm happy with the squad. My only worry is how will the cohesion between Fussy and the wingers be? I think that will be the key, says Arnold. And yeah, I guess you've got a situation in Cheslin Colby, because he's so experienced. I feel like he normally gels with whoever's in the back three with him. Kurtley Arendse, him and Colby have spent some good time together. It's just whether or not that Arendse and Apalele Fussy link is there. Of course, we've seen Willie LaRue and Kurtley Arendse build up that chemistry, but it's just whether or not that last link is there, which is, I believe, between Kurtley and Apalele Fussy. Note before, guys, the AB's got no chance in the series. Says relaxing Kiwis. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. South African time. It certainly is. Colby and Eben to put a try, says Tal. Where can I stream the game for free? It's actually available on SABC in South Africa. For a one-off game, they have actually made this game free to air, which is absolutely fantastic. And I wish they'd do it more often. And hopefully, if it does get good viewing numbers, it's actually going to lead to more people, I guess, pestering them to do that, because I honestly think that they should be. And All Blacks to smash the box, says ADR. And good luck today, Potter, says Nate Dog in the chat as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we will now look through at the benches. 6-2 split, the stock standard for the Springboks. Mako van Staden, though, he is not at number 19. We did see the change of Eben Etzebeth into the side. It wasn't due to injury, or in a way it was. It was due to Eben Etzebeth's injury being okay that he got brought in as that number 19. Malcolm Marx, Gerhard Stennekamp, and Vincent Koch will be the front row replacements. Now, at the moment, Malcolm Marx alongside Kurtley Arendse and Will Jordan, all three of those men having 2 tries. Someone could have 3. In fact, someone could have 4 or 5 at the end of this game. Kurtley Arendse has such an impressive try-scoring rate. Same with Will Jordan, sitting 33 tries from 33 matches. So if that trend continues, surely we see another try in this match as well. Eldrick Lowe as the number 20, with Quagga Smith at 21. Eldrick Lowe been putting in some good numbers throughout this Rugby Championship, beating 5 defenders, actually the same as Kurtley Arendse, believe it or not. Then Quagga Smith, that impact that man brings is just unrivaled when it comes to making your way off the bench. And he's just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, when he makes his way off the reserves as he is when he starts a game. And that is very rare to have for a player. At international rugby, Grant Williams and Andre Pollard, the last 2 Springboks who will be making their way off the bench for this game. For New Zealand, it is Asafa Moa, Ofa Tuangafasi, and Fletcher Null. No Pasilio Tosi for this game, even though some people were hoping to see that man's face. Sam Derry, Summerpenny Finau as the 2 replacements. Now, we haven't actually seen Summerpenny Finau since the matches up against England. He did not play, I don't believe, up against the Fijians, and he also has not played up against Argentina. So he's a big man, he's physical. He's going to have to match up really well with Eldrick Lowe and Quagga Smith, because they are going to be dangerous later on in the game. And Sam Derry, I think that he's really started his international career very well. Did I say career as in the country rather than career? I think I did. It was a slip of the tongue. But someone who does slip through defenders, that is Cortez Aratama as the number 21. Anton Leonard-Brown at 22. He has also been very impressive throughout 2024. And then Mark Talia, when you talk about beating defenders, he's got 11 defenders beaten in only his 2 games that he has played so far. In the chat, we have got Bokmo in by 10. Says Marion, I predict a massive early onslaught from the ABs. It might be too much for the Boks to catch up in the second half, says Atty. We have got their Kiwi media and public is really hostile to their own team. The ABs are still the ABs. Demand nothing but respect, says Sakabula. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people already pretty much writing the All Blacks off in this game, but then I've seen people writing off South Africa as well. It's a really weird dynamic that we've experienced for the media throughout this week, because like when you look throughout the Rugby Championship so far, these 2 sides have a lot of similarities. And we'll be looking through that in terms of the stats very soon. But like, it almost seems like both sides, media-wise, we have seen both medias preparing their side to lose, if that makes sense. And I feel like that shouldn't be the mindset going into this game. Both of these sides are tremendous. South Africa, the Rugby World Cup champions, they have not lost a game since that match up against Ireland, but other than that, they have had a really good run over their last maybe 10 or so games. New Zealand, they've had 1 loss to Argentina. They lost their World Cup final, but they are building, I would say, in the right direction. But both sides, in terms of their media, seem to say, nah, both of them haven't got it here. So I'm curious to see how that affects the players as they make their way out onto the field, because I don't believe it will. I think both of these sides will just go out there. They will throw absolutely everything into this. And it's one of those ones that no matter what, I think we're going to get a great game. And I hope that that is the case, and then we get a great game next week as well. TJ needs to go off already, or needs to go already. Hope he proves me wrong today, says Eddie. And yeah, he did some good things in that last game up against Argentina. At the same time, though, I still don't think he's quite found his rhythm that he did have maybe 2 or so years ago. Rays has not blended enough young talent, says Manny M. Why didn't the coach put Kieran Reid in the starting lineup? Has he been dropped from captain? I mean, to be fair, the All Blacks have plenty of captains. Kieran Reid not one of them, but they've got Scott Barrett as the captain for this game. They have 3 vice captains, which I don't think I've seen before for another side. If New Zealand, says Arthur, very intelligent. We have got their razors. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? And kicking game has to be on point for both teams, says Noam. Yeah, and the kicking is interesting because both of these sides, believe it or not, New Zealand actually more than South Africa recently have been putting in more kicks. And I feel like South Africa do get the stigma of a side that do a lot of kicking. But New Zealand, in terms of their last 5 or so games, have averaged more kicks than South Africa. So maybe New Zealand are the side that should have that stigma of being a more kicking orientated side. But I think the running meters is the thing that's so impressive for these two teams. They are both sitting 1 and 2 in terms of running meters. South Africa have had 921 running meters throughout their last 2 games. New Zealand have had 754. And that's quite impressive, you know, almost bringing up 1,000 meters. All Blacks winning is not an upset, says Novmum, although they are the underdogs heading into this contest according to the betting odds. You have to be on top of your game to beat South Africa at home, says Spider-Mick. And next minute the score ends up being 0-0. I would be a little bit disappointed. Well, in fact, I'd be a lot disappointed. Unless it's like a really good defensive game that we're just seeing, like, you know, we're just seeing defensive masterclasses from both sides. I feel like that's the only way you can accept a scoreline being 0-0 in a game. You have to be on top of your game. For once the bookies say AB's win would be an upset, says Ken. And also we have got there, don't think Hamish is going to read more than 10% of the comments once game gets going. Even now I'm struggling to read as many comments as I can. Am I allowed in? I've been a long-term member, says Naz Williams. And they're welcome in, Naz. Hope you are keeping well. Hope you're excited for this contest. We are only sitting an hour away, ladies and gentlemen, from the start of this matchup. I mentioned about it earlier on, how quickly this time would fly. We've already been going 30 minutes, and we haven't even got into all the stats to do with the match. We have got there still waiting to see the pants, says Caitlin. You may be waiting a little while, Caitlin, I think. Maybe by the end of the live stream. It sounds a bit weird, though, me saying, hey, I might show you my pants. Stick around. See how we're going. We have got in the chat from Hirsch. We've got How's It Brew. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Is that Phil Foden? It might not be. It might actually be yourself, but it does look a little bit like Phil Foden if you know who that is. But hopefully you are doing very well. Hope you are excited for this game. Sam Kane got to have an absolute worldie. Bro has a huge score to settle, says Kens. And yeah, discipline is going to be important in this game. Both sides conceding 22 penalties so far throughout this Rugby Championship. South Africa receiving the 3 yellow cards. New Zealand just receiving the 1. But another stat that I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Video says Wayne, sadly not on this one. You won't be able to find the game on YouTube unless it's an illegal stream. A photo with a stupid haircut, says ADR. I'm not one to comment on stupid haircuts, to be fair. I do very badly need one, though. And thought, Hamish, how the ref will officiate the match this evening. I hope it's free-flowing, but there is a chance that we see a bit of start-stop. I am okay with a few drop balls, though, just because I want to see some scrums. That's the main thing, because we got Tamaiti Williams versus Franz Malharba. You've got Oxnashare versus Tyrell Lomax. It's one of the weird situations that I'm actually begging to see the ball dropped a bit so that we can see some scrums. I hear it's free to air in South Africa. That is true. This is the worst All Blacks team I've ever seen. You were sucking it off like 2 months ago, Manny, when they were originally announcing it. As South Africa favourite to win the game. Razor needs a proper haircut. Once again, I can't comment. And we have got there... what score to settle? He got a deserved red card in the final, says Wes. But yeah, that's the more redemption story that he wants. He wants to come back and show that if he had played the 80 minutes, who knows what could have occurred. But he has to really make sure he's tackling well throughout this game alongside Ethan Blackadder, who has made 40 tackles throughout this rugby championship. And we have got there, this is your calling brother commentator, says reflecting trees to mighty, are the mighty going to turn Malharba into porridge? And it is Phil Foden on my profile pick. And also who's the favourite. At the moment in this game, the favourite is actually South Africa. Now, record-wise, up against New Zealand in South Africa recently, New Zealand have had an advantage, but there's just something different in terms of this game. We will look through at some of the stats, though. I keep on getting distracted. Tries so far throughout the Rugby Championship. New Zealand have scored 9. South Africa have scored 9. Clean breaks. South Africa have had 15. New Zealand have had 15. There are a lot of stats like that, ladies and gentlemen, throughout looking through at these two sides. Penalties conceded, both sides conceding 22. Carries so far, the Springboks have carried 235 times. New Zealand have carried 236, so just the one extra. In that regard, metres carried is heavily in favour of the South Africans, almost by an extra 170 or so metres with 921. New Zealand have beaten more defenders throughout this rugby championship, 52 compared to the South African 41. Jock's the best show, the Mbok, says Berenice. And we have got there, as in this game being shown throughout South Africa. It actually is, yeah. SABC have picked up the rights to be able to show this game for an historic clash. And I hope that it is one that they realise maybe we should have more games in South Africa free to air. There is going to be a huge amount of support behind the box in this contest. And strange having Pollard on the bench. I have a feeling unless Sasha has a blunder at 10, he might shift to 12. Delende goes off. Says Kyle, and great matchups today though. Says Arif, that is very true. And Hamish for Prime Minister with a big pay rise. No worries, mate, you deserve it. Says Paul, I don't think I'd be a very good Prime Minister. I don't think I'd be a very good politician because I'm very good at not answering a question with another question or just avoiding the question. I'm very indecisive, as you guys will know from watching any live stream or any preview that I have done in terms of not being able to pick what score prediction we are going with. The whole South Africa can watch the game free to air on SABC in South Africa. And Hamish, you know, or you should know better, stats mean nothing, says Jose. Yeah, but we can't act like stats don't exist, can we? Like, that's like saying both sides played recently doesn't matter because they're playing now, which you could make an argument is true, but at the same time, statistically, sometimes that can tell you a little bit more about what we will see from this game. Like, just from the stats alone, South Africa need drastic improvements from line-out and scrum time because they are the lowest in both stats throughout the whole competition. Bet you didn't know that one. But New Zealand, they have had 90% in terms of their tackle completion, 90.2% in fact. For the South Africans, they are 90.1%. Both sides at the top of their game for the Rugby Championship overall. Lineouts won though. This is where New Zealand have a 90.9% chance of winning each lineout, whereas South Africa throughout this Rugby Championship have only had a lineout of 83.3%. Now we've got to remember that is with someone like Gabong Yumbanambi, only for 15 minutes, but he did get to throw a couple. We've seen Malcolm Marx having some decent success, and then you've got Johan Grula, who is not playing in this game, and he did really struggle to get that one right. Politicians always answer with a question, says Sensei there. Do you watch, or do a lot of New Zealanders wake up to watch these games live? I think so. Like, there probably aren't as many as you would expect, but then saying that, like, it is a 3 a.m. start, you got to be pretty committed to be up at this hour. I should play for the All Blacks, says Brave. And there, and tell me about it, hashtag indecisive MF. I'll take it. Delende should not go off for any reason but injury, says Sakabula. Yeah, he's just a tremendous player, Damien Delende, and Jesse Creel alongside him. Beaten 5 defenders so far throughout this Rugby Championship. Like, that combo is dangerous. And New Zealand will know that they have to shut it down. We have got Kerr in the chat. Panthers for the win. Welcome in, Kerr. I don't think we've had you on since the URC, so I should say congratulations to the Glasgow Warriors, getting themselves the victory in the URC final. Almost New Year of the URC. Just about here. Only the dedicated will be up in the wee hours. And yeah, I will add on top of that, only the dedicated and possibly the slightly silly will be doing a commentary 1.5 hours before the match. Have you banned George from co-commentating with you? I have not. It's just 3 a.m. and he likes sleep. So he isn't here for this one. But we did film yesterday, me and George. We're going golfing tomorrow, I think. So it's not like we're in bad terms. Unless he beats me at golf. Then we'll see. And let's go the AB, says Royal there. And we have got there not yet 5 p.m. kickoff in South Africa. Exactly right. So we are currently 55 minutes away. It's going to fly by. I can tell you that right now. The time as we get towards the kickoff is going to be absolutely flying. And I'm excited for this game, if you can't tell already. It is going to be an epic one. Looking through at a few more of the stats. I mentioned about the lineouts not quite working for the South Africans throughout the first 2 games of the Rugby Championship. This was one of the more surprising stats that I saw, and that was the scrum percentage. South Africa have only won 75% of their scrums throughout this Rugby Championship competition. They are the lowest by, I think it's about 8%. Argentina with 83%, Australia with 94% of their scrums winning, and then New Zealand with 90%. So an extra 15% advantage in terms of scrum percentages for New Zealand. But when you look through at the front row of South Africa, of course, the 3 that we see in this game had a lot better percentages than we saw with the other 3 in the second match up against the Australians. So that can change drastically. That final made me lots of money, says Kerr. Oh yeah, because you had them back from the start, didn't you, of the competition. The bots just getting better and better, says Manny M. And also don't forget they did Golden Oldies in the second Aussie game, says Sandor. What a game, says Ezekiel there. I low-key want ABs to win. I fear missing the ABs, or I miss fearing the ABs, call it Stockholm Syndrome, says Arif. What does that orange this connected to etc. mean? Bro, wait, what does that orange this connected to my... I think it's because you're a moderator, Nazi. Maybe they changed the color of the moderator. Will you show the game when the game starts? Sadly, due to licensing, any footage of the game on YouTube gets you taken straight down and banned. But it does mean if you're in South Africa, you actually can watch this game. SABC is where this game is available completely free. Is it starting now at 5 o'clock? It is starting at 5 o'clock. So yeah, only 53 minutes away from the start of this matchup. ABs need to put on another 57-0 to win. We have got there, SABC is already spreading misinformation. He was the best black player in his position who deserved his spot. Completely different, says Mile there. Will I be able to look the game on my phone? If you do have SABC on your phone, you will be able to watch this game as it does take place. But you have to be in South Africa is the one slight downside of the rule that they have got, is you have to be a South African resident to be able to watch this game live on SABC. But looking through at what is to come in the Rugby Championship, ladies and gentlemen, luckily, this is not the only time that we get to see New Zealand playing South Africa. We will see it next week as well. That is a 3 a.m. kickoff, so the same time as this game is going to be taking place. That is a 5 p.m. local time for anyone who is in South Africa on Saturday, and it's a rematch of what is going to be an epic game taking place in less than an hour. Argentina will be playing Australia, not just tonight, but also next week. That is 3 hours earlier than they will be kicking off later on today. And then 20 days' time, we see Australia versus New Zealand. First match of the Bledisloe Cup, Argentina welcoming the South Africans onto Argentine soil. And then the week after, the rematches of those 2 games. And whoever is at the top of the table at the end of this game, they will be the winner of the Rugby Championship. At the moment, the way that it sits, South Africa are sitting top of the bunch. They are sitting on 10 points, 2 bonus point wins up against the Australians to receive a bonus point in the Rugby Championship. It is not based off how many tries you score per se. Normally in other comps, if you get 4 tries, you get the bonus point. In the Rugby Championship, you need 3 more tries than your opposition to receive that bonus point. We have seen 3 of those type of bonus points awarded throughout this comp so far, 2 for South Africa and 1 for their challenges in this game in the All Blacks. Australia sitting bottom of the bunch at the moment. They are yet to receive a point in this Rugby Championship competition. Argentina, if they win their game up against the Australians, they will already have more points in the Rugby Championship than they got last year, and we're only halfway through. So that will be a massive achievement for Los Pumas. These are the results that we're seeing from the first 2 rounds. South Africa having 2 wins over the Australians. In both games, Australia really struggling to put points on the board. I believe that Australia throughout their games have only scored 1 try so far. All of those points in the game up against South Africa 2 weeks ago were from 3-pointers. South Africa, though, they have scored 9 tries in their first 2 games of the Rugby Championship. New Zealand, even in defeat, were able to score themselves 30 points. They scored 42. the week after, righting a lot of those wrongs and the mistakes that they made up against Argentina in the first game. But this one, it's going to be an intense one because both of these sides have scored 9 tries. So that means, per se, we should see a lot of points being scored. But also at the same time, the last time that they played, I believe we only saw 2 or 3 tries scored in that Rugby World Cup final. So, it's a very hard game to predict how many points we are going to see, but I believe it's going to be relatively high scoring, around those mid-20s for both of these teams. We have got the donation from Kerr. It has Glasgow 14-1 for next season, money on it already. Says Kerr, tell you what, you'll be able to afford a cruise ship yourself, Kerr, if you put a big bet on that one. But hopefully you have been enjoying your time at sea. You've probably been extremely busy, I would assume, so hopefully you are getting a bit of time to rest now. I have my Brunners and Coke ready for the game, says Hirsch. And do let me know, ladies and gents, have you already fired up the braai? And if so, what is on it today for this matchup? Bock will stay on top, says Corey. You left out Chisel and Colby, wing, scrum half, and hooker. Yeah, that was certainly interesting when they had him feed the ball into the scrum in that first contest. Also, another interesting point to make about that first game was the fact that we saw that double line-out, something that we haven't really seen too many sides use, but is that something that South Africa will look to use here up against New Zealand? Malcolm Marx already having 2 tries. The rolling maul of the South Africans is extremely strong. That is the way it will stay no matter who is in that forward pack, and they've got some really good players in terms of being able to get that shove going forward. Peter Stiftatoy being one of them. He's going to be one to watch out for here. I wonder how Sasha will be feeling right now, about to face a haka. And it is crazy to think that this is Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu's first game up against the All Blacks. He's had some really strong minutes over the last 12 months. In fact, less than 12 months. He played up against the Welsh off the bench. He's had a few starts, but he's still very early on in his Test career. And I think out of all the players on the field, him and I would make an argument for Apalele Fasi. Those are the 2 I think have the most pressure on them in terms of young players looking to perform. A lot of the other guys who have taken to the field, with maybe the exception of Ben Jason Dixon and also Roa Nokia, a lot of the guys who are on the field now, they've already made their name, if that makes sense. They have shown what they can do at international level. Those guys are still right on the verge of becoming international stars, and I don't think Sasha's too far away from doing so. And a big game here could be exactly what he needs to keep on building that confidence and perhaps book himself a start for the Springboks as they do move forward. Are you wearing suit trousers or just sitting in your boxes? I have got pants on, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning into the live stream now, that is a really weird sentence for me to start. And if this is the first time ever on a live stream, hi, hope you're well. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I don't always talk about my pants, but when I do, I keep it brief. That could be considered a pun as well, but we'll leave that there. Damn, the South African analyst must suck all the Saffers here, says Trajan. And we have got the I'm worried stadium looks so empty. It won't be, though. It will be sold out. Of course, it's not going to look like it is behind me here. It is definitely going to be a sellout for this contest, and everyone in attendance is going to feel that atmosphere as soon as it gets underway. I just joined and I heard I have pants on. I guess it's better than me saying I don't have pants on. Now someone else is probably joining right at that time, and I do have pants. Fantastic intro to newbies, says Caitlin there, and Kane, big game, says Kevin. Yep, huge game here for Sam Kane. Has to make sure that he's on his A game alongside Ethan Blackadder, 2 men who are great when it comes to the tackling stats normally for their respective sides. For Ethan Blackadder, he didn't have many minutes for the Crusaders throughout the Super Rugby season, but it's just an interesting one. Rugby brings hardcore Africans men's and hardcore African men together. Stop the we support our country. We don't want the politics in sports. I'm tired of it now. We're all together, says Mel. I assume that's talking about SABC and not us, because I was just talking about my pants. I'm watching the Americans Cup at the same time on my other phone, says Trajan. Well, hopefully they don't rock the boat, or at least don't drop the boat again, eh? But yeah, that was quite bad news that they dropped a boat from quite high. I was just sitting there wearing a nappy. No need to get up for a toilet break, says Grant. Looking through at these sides once again for anyone who hasn't already seen them. Ladies and gentlemen, for South Africa in this game, it will be Oxnard in the front row alongside Bong Mbanambi and Franz Malharba. The scrum of the Springboks throughout the Rugby Championship, like I said, it's been the lowest out of any side, but these 3 men, they normally pride themselves on bringing that scrum to the next level, as well as just bringing that whole forward pack up to the next level. Oxenashek, he's been brilliant. Ever since that Stephen Kitsoff injury, I felt throughout the Rugby World Cup, maybe he could have earned a few more starting minutes because he was right on the cusp of being able to get that one jersey and then just keep it, which he has been able to do here. For the green and gold, Peter Steftotoy at number 4 with Roan Nokia slotting in as the number 5. Bit of a new combo. Eben Etzebeth will be making his way off the bench after being named in the side slightly later than the rest of the team. Sia Khaleesi at 6 with Ben Jason Dixon. Big chance for that man at number 7. Has had a good season for the Stormers. We'll be hoping to step up here as well. Jasper Wiese, his first minutes since his suspension. It happened so long ago. And the Gallagher Premiership is just about to get back underway. That man has had to sit on the sidelines thinking about that one tackle, that one decision. And that can be one of those things that as soon as he goes out on the field, I feel like he's going to be fired up beyond belief. He will want to get that number 8 jersey back because since he has been suspended, we've seen Evan Roos, we've seen Quagga Smith, and we've also seen Elric Lowe all get a chance in that number 8 jersey. Jasper Wiese, he'll be saying, nah, it's mine. I'm back. I'm not suspended anymore. And this is now my chance to take my jersey back. Kobus Reinach as the number 9 with Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu at 10. This combination, Kobus Reinach bringing the experience. And then you've got Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, who I believe brings the X factor for the Springbok backline. In the midfield, it is consistent, it is tough, it is Damien Dialende and Jesse Creel. Kurt Liarense out on one wing looking to increase his try-scoring tally alongside Chislin Colby out on the right and Apalele Fasi there at number 15. We have got their gifted 5 memberships from Kerr. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. We have got there, do you have an Uber gig after this commentary, says James Mellon? Luckily not, because if I was an Uber driver after doing this game, I would just end up eating all the food, because sometimes rugby just makes you very hungry, doesn't it? So I feel like I'd just end up eating it and then I get sacked. And I don't have pants on, and I do. What kind of podcast is this? I've just joined, says Power Bike. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. That is stock standard of the Kiwi lads, of course. 3 a.m. that side. Match commitment, says Justin. Yep. Currently only 43 minutes away. We are wearing a suit at 2:17 a.m. New Zealand time. Like, it's a strange situation to explain to people the next day. Like, I went out for lunch with my nana, and to try and tell my nana why I was up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning wearing a suit, talking to myself in my lounge, like, that's a hard conversation to get through. But we got there in the end. And then she told a couple of the older ladies at the pub that, because we were at like a restaurant pub thing, and then they were all looking up my channel on their phones, and it was a really weird situation. But yeah, it's a bit weird being in a suit at 2:18 a.m. to answer a question that I don't think you asked. Hello from China, says Roll Rocks. Welcome in, mate. Oh, 2 a.m. Sorry, Mr. Kiwi lads, says Hirsch. And we have got their... what's the bet for this game? South Africa to win by 5. Somewhere around there seems to be about where the odds are sitting at the moment. My prediction was South Africa by 2. I think it's going to be a really close game. I went 27-25, and I honestly think that it could be either way in that regard. We've got another gifted membership from Kerr there. I'm grieving for Hamish because this game is at a eminently responsible time here on the US East Coast, says Gus. And Hamish's gran is looking to set him up with one of her mates. Anyone else making some late night bites? Or is it just me, carbonara and chicken tendies for me, by the way? That sounds really, really good. To be fair, box by 22, says Sandor. So I would assume in that case, Sandor, you're giving them the bonus point. And I have a question, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last time a rugby championship was won by a side who received a bonus point in every single game? I don't want to jinx it, but there is a chance that maybe we could see... we can see the South Africans maybe do that if they play well in this game and the one next week as well. And we have got there, watching from Johannesburg, South Africa. You should be in South Africa commentating, says Laura there. I would like to go to South Africa one day. I feel like it is down the line a little bit, but I feel like I'd love to do a bit of a tour of going to each of the stadiums and watching a URC or an international game there and giving out memberships like a punter with dollar bills and a strip joint, says James about Kerr. And also a great show, All Blacks watching from South Jordan in Utah, says Michelle. And Cheers Kerr says, Gus, what time is the expected kickoff? So the kickoff is taking place in 40 minutes time. We're actually getting very close to the start of this contest. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments as well. We've got another gifted 5 memberships from Kerr, and Zender said, hey all, welcome in. I'm cooking some crinkle cut fries in the air fryer, yum yum. And South Africa 61-0 is the score from Sean. If it happened, I would be extremely impressed. But that's the thing, the South African side, if they find their rhythm, I'm not saying they're going to win 61-0, right? But I'm saying they could bring up 30 points. They've actually had a really good run. 3 games in a row that they've brought up more than 30 points. Now, the last time they were able to bring up more than that was 2017, I believe it was. But the last time that they won more than 3 games in a row up against the All Blacks, it has never happened. The most that they have won up against the ABs is 3. If they win here, they match that. Next week, if they win, they break the record that the side, I believe, from 2009 had. So it just shows you how much there is on the line here, not just for the South Africans, but also for New Zealand, for Scott Robertson. What does that do to the confidence after losing to Argentina? To be on one of the longest losing streaks up against South Africa probably doesn't sit too well for the Crusaders. Ex-coach, we have got there, where is the weakness in the ABs? I think it's been lately the physicality. I think that the loose forward trio definitely needs to step up in this contest. Same with Scott Barrett, because in the games up against Argentina, New Zealand were a bit better in terms of the physicality compared to that game up against England, and compared to, of course, that first test up against the English as well. But the big thing is South Africa, we know how much physicality they bring. We know that there's going to be big hits. Peter Steph du Toit, his mission out there on the field is to make Damian McKenzie and Geordie Barrett as uncomfortable as they can be. And if New Zealand can't find a way of countering that and trying to push South Africa back when they give them a bit of a shove, that will be where New Zealand could possibly lose this game. You promised to play your guitar after the World Cup final, says Cool Story Bro, and I did. I did actually play the South African national anthem on that live stream. If you did end up seeing it, we have got there, can we watch the game here? Sadly, on YouTube, it is impossible to find the game without it getting taken down due to copyright. But if you're in South Africa, it is available on SABC completely for free. So I would recommend checking that out. South Africa is going to win because it is good and nice, says Innocent Akron. Well, I mean, South Africa, you could say that this side is good and nice. You could say that they fall into both categories. And you know, there's a few other things other than being good and nice that they'll have to do to win this game, but might put them in the right direction. We've got another 5 gifted memberships there from Kerr. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. I've joined with them on the wins or the losses. We don't care. For the 80 minutes, we stay aggressive till the end. Speak to us after the 80 minutes, says Mal, although I will mention I will be speaking throughout the 80 minutes as we are doing commentary for the game. So kickoff is around 3 a.m. New Zealand time. It is indeed, yes. So we're not too far away from the start of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Hamish. Hello, everyone. Looking dapper, mate, says Sebastian. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated you being here. Where is the weakness in the South African team, would you say, says James. If we're looking through at a weakness, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because if you look at the stats, we would end up in the situation of looking at the line out and looking at the scrum. But I think that the main thing that hurt that statistic was the second match, when we did see those younger players, the inexperience on the field for the South Africans. I think that the weakness could be if the All Blacks put a lot of pressure on Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu and he makes mistakes. But that's not a guarantee that that will happen, because you just look through the side, it's just good, isn't it? Like, there's not really a weak link, I don't believe, in the South African side at the moment, and that is something that New Zealand will know. And, you know, even on paper, you could say New Zealand, there aren't too many weaknesses across their side either. We've got a super sticker from Kerr, and it's £50, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Kerr. You were telling the truth when you said that you did win quite a bit of money with the Glasgow Warriors. Greatly appreciated, mate. Of course, I've gone red again. I'm more red than that orange, because they're 2 different colours. Hamish is the most objective commentator ever, says Cool Story Bro. I'm doing scrums outside the stadium, says Mal. Okay. Is it, like, are you doing it up against a wall, or have you got someone doing them with you? And to Kerr win the lotto, I think he pretty much did with his Glasgow Warriors winning the URC. A very happy man. A few police officers have given me a red card already, says Mal. And I should mention, the Rugby Championship, we've had 2 rounds, we've had 4 games, but we haven't seen a single red card. The question is, are we going to see one today, ladies and gents? And if we are, who is it going to be? ladies and gentlemen? Who do you think will get that red card? A 20-minute red card, I should mention, because we are under the Rugby Championship new laws, which does bring in only 20 minutes of a player being off. But do let me know, who is it going to be that does receive that card? Looking through at South Africa very quickly in terms of what is to come in this Rugby Championship competition. Next week they have got New Zealand. They are going to be playing at the exact same kickoff time as the game that is happening in 35 minutes time. Different location, not playing at Ellis Park for that game. Next week they then have a 2-week layoff before they head to Argentina to take on the Argentines. That is an 11 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa. So a pretty late night one in terms of the start time, and then 4 a.m. New Zealand time, 6 p.m. South African time. That will be the last round of the Rugby Championship, and by that game, we will know what has happened with New Zealand and Australia. We'll know if South Africa need to win that game to win the Rugby Championship, and if so, by how much, and perhaps they can get the job done. Also, moving a little bit further forward in the future, November felt like a long time ago, but we're now in the 9th month of the year, ladies and gentlemen. 2025 is just about coming to a close. I haven't done a lot this year, I'll be honest. We've done a lot of live streams, but other than the streaming, I don't think I've really done a huge amount. But in 71 days, Scotland versus the South Africans, that was the opening contest of the Rugby World Cup for the Springboks. They'll be going head-to-head, followed by a game up against the English, massive one at that, and then they play Wales, who they did play in the warm-up of their July internationals before heading into that Irish series. Now, sadly, we do not get to see South Africa versus Ireland in terms of the international fixtures coming up for this year, but perhaps next year is when we will get to see those ones take place. In terms of New Zealand's upcoming games, ladies and gentlemen, they have got their match next week, like I mentioned, up against the South Africans. Then they play Australia in the first match of the Bledisloe Cup. That is going to be a 7:45 a.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa. And then the game next week, or the week after, I should say, the 28th of September, that is New Zealand versus Australia again in their November internationals. They play the Japanese on the 28th of October, or sorry, the 26th. I can read, I swear. 3rd of November, it is going to be England versus New Zealand. Ireland playing the New Zealanders on the 9th. And then France, as well as Italy, a lofty, hefty weighted tour for New Zealand at the end of the year. But 5 opportunities to book your spot in the side as they head towards 2025. But we are only sitting around 30 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen, from the start of this contest. Please, no red card, says Eugene there. And also we have got their donation a little bit earlier on, South Africa in there. I won't even try and pronounce that because I feel like I will absolutely butcher it. I should mention, is that the same? I think that is the same Curse Super sticker. I could be wrong though, but if it isn't, I think it's the same. Put my money on Glasgow winning odds with 4. That's a pretty decent bit of work there, Kerr. I can understand now why you are donating. As much as you have, a win is for you tonight, bro. Says HD23 total points. I think it's going to be a relatively high scoring contest between these two sides. A lot higher scoring, I believe, than the Rugby World Cup final. Just because both of these teams so far throughout this year, they've been able to score 9 tries in total each. And the Springboks selection here, I believe, is a much more attacking-minded side than we have seen for that Rugby World Cup. And that's a good thing. I think that Apalele Fasia, number 15, he will be willing to run the ball. He's been really strong for the South Africans and also for the Sharks in the URC. Sasha Ngume Zulu, brilliant. Any chance that he gets. As the match ended, it is not. It is about to start. 30 minutes time. We are getting very close to the kickoff of this contest. Previous form and results don't mean anything. When these sides meet, it will be close, says Christopher DeVette. And we have got there, Justin Marshall speaks a lot of sense, says Manny M. Although he did also say that the New Zealanders couldn't lose a game throughout 2024, didn't he? So he got that wrong. South Africa mostly focuses on World Cups and they experiment quite a lot between them. Says Cool Story Bro. Come on, the All Blacks, make Kiwis proud, says Jeffrey Fockett. And I think that quite a few New Zealanders are probably now just starting to wake up, getting ready to go into this match and ready to watch it. Nice 3 a.m. kickoff for us here in NZ. We will quickly go like this and like that, ladies and gentlemen, just for anyone who was curious about what has happened up till this stage of the Rugby Championship. South Africa, they are the only undefeated side in this competition. They are sitting first on the table with 10 points, 2 bonus point wins coming over the Australians on away soil as well. I should mention, they did brilliantly in that first game, didn't really give Australia any sort of opportunity to get into that contest. Second game, bit more of an experimental side, rainy conditions, but they still brought up the 30 points. Australia scoring the 12. New Zealand, very different start to their Rugby Championship, suffering a loss to Argentina, but in their game that they lost, they still scored 30 points. So I guess that is a bonus, you could say, for New Zealand, but it's not very often you score 30 and you still lose a game. So that is something that they want to improve on as they move forward, and they certainly did just that in their next game. 42 points to 10, the win over the Argentines. Bit of redemption, but it's not over yet. They still want to get their hands on that Rugby Championship, and to be able to do that and to do it comfortably, they probably need to win both games in South Africa. Now, that is an almighty task and a monumental one for them to top the Rugby Championship table at the end of this round. It is possible. It is unlikely, but it is possible. 11-point win over the South Africans while also scoring 3 or more tries than the Springboks in this game. Now, with both sides already scoring 9 tries throughout their Rugby Championship, the chance of having that 3-try buffer might be relatively high. You're all welcome, says Kerr. And there as well. Yeah, you've gifted, I think, like 20 memberships or 15 so far on the channel, Kerr, and also donated £50, which is, it's massive money here in New Zealand. So you won 45k pounds, Kerr. And damn thunderstorms here in Auckland keeping me awake. Might as well watch the game. Yeah, I guess that's one bonus. Maybe that is just some sort of thing in the atmosphere telling you to watch the rugby. And if it tells me to watch the rugby, I would certainly do it. That is for sure. It's just not good enough losing to Argentina. AB should be way ahead of them, says Jimbo. I do think at the same time, though, maybe there was a little bit of an underestimated feat of that game, if that makes sense. Like New Zealand, I think, went into that game expecting to win comfortably because they've done it before on New Zealand soil, and they just made some really silly mistakes that cost them a lot throughout that contest. Thanks, Kerr, says Blake. And hi, everyone. You're looking great, Hamish. AB's 38, box 32, says Moa Hunters. So, of course, that would actually continue the trend that South Africa are on at the moment, which is in the situation of 30 or more points. Their last 3 games they have done so. They're on their second longest ever streak of scoring 30 or more points throughout the Rugby Championship. I guess plus a bit more from my bet I made immediately before the game as well. All in, I made around 150k profit during the URC season. Fair play. That's a lot of money, Kerr. That's a kind of moment. And total points over 50.5, says Rajan. And where can I get a box jersey from? It's very hard to get one because you're probably competing with about 60 million South Africans who are also trying to get their hands on a South African kit. And Go the Bocky, says Mopelli. And then the box to go, says, it was there from Thomas. And score prediction, guys. So my prediction was 27 points to 25. I think this is going to be a really close game. And it's one of those ones that if we don't see this game, if we don't see it go quickly, you know, like we get a real fast-paced start. New Zealand, I think that they will try and start this game fast. But South Africa are normally pretty good at mitigating that because Australia tried that tactic. They wanted to go out the gates firing. And they did, but they didn't really find success in doing so. New Zealand have to be clinical. They have to do what they did up against Argentina and score a couple tries early and just try and build upon that. How's it all, South Africa? I want South Africa to win, but damn, can't ride off a New Zealand win either, says G Bro. And bear in mind, the last time South Africa beat a 15-man AB side was in Mbombela 2022. Says Trajan, and any win-loss stats for 3 Barrett Bros in test match starting lineup. Thanks, Hamish. That is one stat, sadly, I do not have. I spent pretty much all day getting stats of different kinds. I don't have that one, unfortunately. Why do think Geordie hasn't been criticised as heavily as the other players? He's been pretty average. I agree. I think Geordie Barrett has really not managed to find his feet as of yet, and I think Anton Leonard-Brown is the informed 12. But New Zealand, they didn't pull the trigger on the Anton Leonard-Brown-Billy Proctor combination, I don't believe, early enough. If they wanted to have that as the combo, they needed to try it once up against England and then also once or twice up against Argentina and with Fiji. They only did it up against Fiji. So they always, I believe, wanted to go with that experience of Geordie Barrett, Rico Ioane for the combo. I think Billy Proctor's been very unlucky to only get 1 cap so far for the ABs. He could have made his way maybe off the bench in this matchup, but saying that, you have to have Mark Talia with the amount of defenders beaten, but then his defence later on in the game. That could be what hurt. And we have got there at Ellis Park, you need Geordie's big boot, says Grant. And yeah, we haven't really seen him use it, have we, for the All Blacks? A lot of the times they have decided to go towards the corner rather than going for the 3 points. In this type of contest, I think that 3-pointers could be absolutely crucial. Who is the ref, says Daniel. I believe it is... Who is the ref for this game? I think it's an Irishman, isn't it? I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's not Matthew Carley. It's not Carl Dixon. It's not Luke Pearce, because I think I've just said all of the English referees. I can't even remember who's in charge of this game, but a quick look through the lineups. When the man who donates £50 asks, you do have to make sure that you do just that. But we were about to go through them anyway. I should mention Oxnard as the number 1, Bongi Umbanambi and Franz Malharba there as the number 3, Peter Steftatoi and Ruan Nokia as the locking duo. So Peter Steftatoi so far throughout this Rugby Championship, he has played 5 in the first match, 7 in the second, and now he plays 4 in the third match of the contest. Eben Etzebeth, he will be making his way off the bench in this game. Of course, normally they would like to start him, but they weren't sure whether or not his injury was going to be all right to compete in this match, so they've instead gone with the side of caution, giving him that spot off the bench. Instead, Sia Khaleesi at number 6, Ben Jason Dixon gets the chance at 7 in this contest, and then Jasper Vesa slotting in as the number 8. This is his first game since his suspension has ended. He hasn't had a lot of minutes recently, so to chuck him back in the deep end, it is a little bit of a surprise. Definitely with Eldrick Lowe coming off the bench, but it just shows you how much they back Jasper Vesa to be able to step up in this game and find his feet early. Kobus Reinach and Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu will be the 9-10 combination for this game. Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu, great start to his international career. Kobus Reinach starting to get some good minutes under his belt due to the injury of Faf de Klerk. They've got Grant Williams off the bench for that versatility of being able to play halfback or out on the wing. But Reinach, he's got the pace of a winger, he's got the skill of a halfback, and he's got some brilliant passing for this contest as well. Damien Delende and Jesse Creel, they are going to be the midfield combo for this match. Kurtley Arendse alongside Cheslin Colby on the wings. Kurtley Arendse already scoring 2 tries in this competition. He's also, alongside that, had 3 clean breaks. He's had 5 defenders beaten. He is an absolute unit out on that wing, and it's not very often, although saying that, it's becoming more often that we're talking about another winger having better stats than Cheslin Colby. Like Colby, don't get me wrong, he's still a tremendous player. He offers you a lot. He's also beaten 5 defenders, but he's not scoring the tries at the moment. It seems to be that Kurtley Arendse, he is the one who's getting them. Mapimpi, he's the one who's getting them. Colby just waiting patiently to get a couple more tries under his belt for this Rugby Championship. And then Apalele Fasi at number 15, that is rather than Vili LaRue, who finds himself nowhere in the Springboks. 23 for the All Blacks in the front row, it is Tamaiti Williams alongside Cody Taylor, the Crusaders teammates, and Tyrell Lomax at 3. Tamaiti Williams injured to the injury that we saw of Ethan de Groot, neck injury. Second game up against the Pumas. Scott Barrett back in the starting lineup after his finger injury, and Tamaiti Williams and Scott Barrett and Cody Taylor. We haven't seen too many times that we've had 3 Crusaders in the front 3. In fact, you could extend it, say 4 Crusaders in the forward pack. Is that the Razor side of things coming in? Maybe Leon McDonald. You know, he's with Australia at the moment, I did see as well, ladies and gents. He has decided to jump over the Trans-Tasman for the Rugby Championship coaching side of things. But Tupavai, he is there at number 5. He's made a lot of tackles, 34 so far throughout the competition. Ethan Blackadder, he is the most of any player with 40 tackles. Sam Cane back in the starting lineup. I believe this is his first start since the Rugby World Cup. Came off the bench up against Argentina, now gets a start, wants that redemption, and what better place to get it than playing a game in South Africa. Artie Savia, he will be the number 8 for New Zealand. And this match, most carries out of any player in this Rugby Championship with a total of 37. TJ Perenara at 9 with Damian McKenzie slotting in as the 10. Geordie Barrett and Rico Ioane in the midfield combination with Caleb Clark. Will Jordan out on the wing. He has also scored 2 tries, just like Kurtley Arendse. And then Bowden Barrett at number 15 to close out this All Blacks starting lineup. And we have got there, why did Leon McDonald step down, Hamish? It just seemed to be that it wasn't really working between Scott Robertson as well as Leon McDonald. They had different plans. It wasn't quite gelling, but it seems like it was a mutual agreement. It wasn't like one of the coaches was sacked per se. It was just Leon McDonald felt like it wasn't really working for him to be there. So he's actually joined up with Australia now and will be helping them throughout the rest of the Rugby Championship. My Springbok will make us proud, says Tobella there. And the score says, Blake, at the moment it is 0-0, but my guess for the score, I think we're going to see both of these sides bring up around 25 points each. And it's just going to be one of those games that it's going to be a don't blink kind of game. And of course, you can't not blink for 80 minutes, or at least I don't think it's possible to do so, but you're not going to want to miss any of the action. This is the type of game I think I'm going to rewatch 10 times during the week before we get to the next time that they play, which is next week. We get spoiled in terms of this Rugby Championship. The fact that we don't just get to see these two sides play once, but we get to see it twice, 2 weeks in a row. It's just absolutely awesome, and a great time to be a Southern Hemisphere rugby fan, that is for sure, with this Rugby Championship only halfway done. Go Bok says world champs twice. And also we got their lovely show, bro, thanks. And Go the Box says Basil's and there as well. But it has ticked over to less than 20 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. New Zealand coming as underdogs for this game at Ellis Park, which some find a little bit surprising, but saying that there's still a lot that has to go right for the All Blacks to win this game. Did you quit Powerade Zero? I think I had a Powerade Zero like twice on a live stream, and that was about it. Then I just went back to the water. Quick prediction. How many times do you think Perenara will have his bot kicks charged down? Thanks, Hamish says Gita. I think it will be at least a couple. Peter Steph the Toy, Ebenet Smith in the second half if they don't bring Cortez Ratama on early. I think we'll really look to target that TJ Perenara box kick. Whereas Cobus Reinach, I think that we're not going to see as many box kicks from the Springboks. We're probably going to see more so the pass back to Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, and then that classic up and under that we've seen from the Springboks throughout recent times. 3am says Sensei, yeah, we are only 19 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest at Ellis Park. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a clear day by the looks of it. It's going to be an absolutely awesome one to witness for this one. Got to nip out for 5 back very soon, says Kerr, so we will see it in a little bit. Go the Bocky, says Thundy, and the only certain thing here is they will bash the out of each other, says HD23. Yep, there's going to be some very sore bodies after this game. I can tell you that right now. And the fact that they then have to play each other next week is just going to be brutal for these two sides. But I should mention, anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is so greatly appreciated. You all being here for these live streams. We are here for every game of the Rugby Championship. We are here for the November Internationals, the URC, when it starts back up, the Six Nations, the Gallagher Premiership. We'll have a few games of that. The Rugby 7, Super Rugby, you name it, we're covering it on the channel. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Kickers will make the difference, says Rui there. And yeah, it is going to be one of those games that Damian McKenzie, he's currently the leading point scorer in this competition. Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, he is second. But there's quite a big difference. Damian McKenzie with 32 points compared to Sasha Feinberg, who has only got himself the 16. Now, he did play both games, Sasha, but that second one just wasn't quite as smooth as his first up against the Australians. Will you be watching the game and tell us the score? We certainly will be. We will be doing the play-by-play commentary. So everything that happens out there on the field, we will be trying our best to paint the picture in your mind and also give you updates all throughout the game in terms of what is happening, where they are on the field, who has the ball, who's scoring the tries, and in the end, who's winning the game. Could you please cover more rugby league matches? There aren't many rugby league matches that actually take place, to be honest. Like in terms of international rugby league, there hasn't been a huge amount, which is why we haven't really done too much. We might be doing the Rugby League World Cup, although they've limited that to only a few teams now, I do see, which is a bit unfortunate. What's the weather like in Johannesburg? From the picture that I saw just before in the background of the commentators, it does look very nice. Hopefully we get someone down on the side of the pitch very soon, but it looks like a good day for rugby, which is exactly what both of these sides wanted. A little bit of a free-flowing game. International Rugby League is a disgrace, says Matthew and I. Hamish, great to see you again. We all remember your World Cup coverage in the pants. Have a great game, says Judy. Thank you very much. Hope you do enjoy the game. Good luck to both teams. Like always, it's the Titans against each other, says Two Fish Out. And there as well. But looking through at the benches for these two sides, ladies and gentlemen, as we creep closer to the kickoff of this match, I should mention that Marco van Staden, he is not there for the South Africans. It is Eben Etzebeth. He was added into the side late, about 24 hours after the rest of the side were announced. Malcolm Marx, he has scored 2 tries throughout this Rugby Championship competition. He is a partner with Gerhard Steenekamp and Vincent Koch in the front row. Eldrick Lowe and Quagga Smith, the two replacement loose forwards. Eldrick Lowe, I assume, will come on for Jasper Visser later on in the game, and then Quagga Smith more than likely for either Sia Khaleesi or the option of Ben Jason Dixon. Grant Williams and Andre Pollard, the two back replacements that South Africa have decided to bring for this first test up against the All Blacks. For the ABs, they have got Asafa Moore, Ofa Tuangafasi, and Fletcher Null. Now, it's a bit of an interesting one, because I would say with Malcolm Marx off the bench for the South Africans, with Quagga Smith, and also with the option of Eben Etzebeth, South Africa, I believe, have a clear advantage when it comes to their bench. And people have talked about how the 6-2 split later on in the contest could be what does set these two sides apart. But the question is, can New Zealand make enough of an impact early on in the game that 6-2 split, even if it is strong, they are still far enough ahead that they can handle that pressure and stop them from being able to score. Also, I should mention New Zealand throughout their games up against Argentina, second halves were nowhere near as strong as the first 40 minutes. So that is something to also look at for this contest. But also in the forward pack for New Zealand off the bench, it is Sam Derry and Summer Penny Finau. Finau we have not seen in quite some time. He played both matches up against the English, didn't quite find his stride. But this type of physical game up against South Africa perhaps could be just what Finau needs to get him back in the form direction. Cortez Ratama, Anton Leonard-Brown, both informed players for the Chiefs throughout Super Rugby Pacific. Both debatably should be in the starting lineup for the All Blacks. And then Mark Talia beating 11 defenders so far throughout this Rugby Championship. Savi is second with the defenders beaten stat with 9. Leonard-Brown third with 6. Bowden Barrett, Jesse Creel, Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Ardenser, and Eldrick Lowe all have 5. But we are less than 15 minutes away from the start of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. We have already talked for an hour and 15. I'm sure some of you are already getting sick of my voice, but if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we do not just talk on the international games of rugby. We have got the URC. Was that man asleep in the stand? Surely not for this game at Ellis Park, but it is a beautiful afternoon. Sun is out. It's going to be an epic game, and it is getting very close to the start of this contest. But yeah, we've got plenty more coverage coming on the channel for international rugby, for all games that we can. Never sick of it, says Caitlin there. But yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stadium looks back. Yeah, it's going to be a sellout. At the end of the day, who wouldn't want to go to a game at Ellis Park, Johannesburg, to watch these two sides, two of the best teams, if not the best two teams in the world? I know that it's debatable, but when these games take place in the Rugby Championship, it always has a World Cup final feel, and that is exactly the last time we saw these two sides play. And where can we live stream? If you are in South Africa, you can watch on SABC. It is free to air in South Africa for this matchup, something that we don't see too often. But for this game in particular, they have decided to allow free-to-air TV for this match. Unfortunately, I think Springboks bench will have greater impact than AB's bench, especially Marks and Pollard, says Eugene. And also, of course, Eben Etzebeth added into that fray, having so far 13 lineouts, one I believe, 4 more than any other player in the Rugby Championship just at this point. Me and my aunt have never gotten sick of your voice, says Cool Story Bro. Maybe he's a Kiwi, says Gus. And also we get the overseas has Chase Khaleesi, says Bad MSN there as well, but they are just showing off the bench. New Zealand have 3 players with less than 5 caps off their bench, whereas for South Africa, they have Andre Pollard, Eben Etzebeth. Like, those two alone have so many caps combined, and Eben Etzebeth is closing in on the opportunity of becoming the most capped Springbok ever if he plays in this game, which he should. He'll make his way off the bench at some point, but he will then tie Brian Habana with 125 caps for the Springboks. Then the opportunity is there. 2 or 3 more games and he will be the most capped Springbok of all time. And I have to say, the way that Etzebeth has stayed, I guess, relevant in that starting lineup and has been an impact player for so long for the Springboks, he definitely deserves to be right up there in terms of the best and also the most capped. But this game, we are only 10 minutes away. Both of these sides are about to make their way out of the tunnels, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, be sure to let me know who you think will win this game and also who you think will be the first try scorer of this contest. We are only 500 subscribers away from 53,000. Let's see if we can get very close to that. Well, I think that would be too optimistic. Let's see if we can go up 200 by the start of this contest. If you haven't already, be sure, of course, to hit that subscribe button. But these two sides now making their way out onto the field. The tensions there. First try, Cody Taylor, says Gita there. It's going to be a hard game for both teams to easily win over the other, says David. Is this match taking place in South Africa? It certainly is, and both games are going to take place in South Africa. The one next week also taking place on Springbok soil, but the All Blacks now making their way out of the tunnel. Sounds like a bit of supporters there for New Zealand. At the end of the day, a lot of South African supporters do enjoy watching the ABs play, and some would consider the All Blacks as their second team, which is, I guess, slightly down to that mutual respect that a lot of supporters for these two sides do have. That man is huge. The warrior in the middle. The Zulu warrior. That man's got muscles on muscles, that bloke. Who's going to lead the haka? I believe TJ Perenara will be the man who is in charge of the haka. I love that you still call it Ellis Park, says Judy. I'm a bit old school in that regard. Like, I know that it's got new names now, and I should call it the new one, but Ellis Park, everyone knows it by Ellis Park, don't they? What an absolute unit, says Gosh there. And big one for the All Blacks, says Baddies MSN. So much history with Ellis Park, says Judy. And also we have good there, Hamish stunned by a ripped cloud muscle man, says Caitlin. Yeah, he was a lot bigger than the guy that they had a couple weeks ago, which sounds a bit weird to say. Anyone who's just tuning in now, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Hope you are excited for this game. We are just about to have the national anthems, and then we are underway for what is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, test matches of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, the Springboks versus Ireland series. It was talked about a lot. It was a game that was full of hype, and that series did deliver. The question is, can the All Blacks and the Springboks, when they make their way out onto the field for the Rugby Championship, do just that? Get people on the edge of their seats for the 80 minutes of outstanding rugby. We have got there Blackadder, a first try, says Donald there, and the Impy looked like he ate the fourth member, says Grant. And there as well, but these Springboks making their way out onto the field to a standing ovation from the crowd. It's one thing you will not find lacking for the South Africans, and that is support when they are on home soil. Or to be fair, I mean, home soil kind of felt like Australia too. There were more Springbok supporters in Australia than Australian supporters, which I could expect. I think that they'll probably do Kamate for this one, I would say. But there is a chance that they go with Kapo Pango as well. Here you go, says Hirsch there. Thank you very much for your donation. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy yourselves, boys, says Tash. And there as well. But we are about to have the national anthems, ladies and gentlemen, for this contest. The crowd is sold out. The weather has turned up for this game. The atmosphere is there. I'm nervous. But the thing is, I'm not nervous for the All Blacks. I'm just nervous in general, because this is the type of game that I want to be awesome, if that makes sense. And I just hope that it delivers. If it doesn't, it would be a little bit sad. Anyone watching on SABC can't see anything on SABC. This is just nonsense. Tell you what, if SABC have told everyone they're going to show the game free to air and then they show a black screen the whole game, that is not good. I can tell you that right now. There will be a lot of angry people. What I like about the Kiwi lads is I don't get too involved. And then I watch the game if we win. And let's hear you sing the national anthem. I would prefer not to sing the national anthem. I want your guys' ears to still work. That was a massive hug for the lady holding the flag. I think it was an Olympian, maybe, if I'm correct there. She had the medal around her neck, and Hamish used to take over the ABs as the next coach. I would prefer not to. I don't think it's the type of job that you can really enjoy, because you normally get criticised way too much anyway. Look at Scott Robinson. He's lost one game. People are already saying to sack him. Whereas if I had only lost one game as a coach, I'd be pretty happy. You know, it's not that bad. But over these sides just being greeted before the national anthems are sung. Are there any free sites to watch the game on? SABC in South Africa is your best option for being able to watch these games. You look fantastic in your suit and tie, says Ruth. Thank you very much. But for anyone who doesn't know already, we will go through the starting lineups yet again for these two sides. For the South Africans, they have got a very strong starting lineup here. It is Ox Nechair alongside Bong Manambi and Franz Malharba in the front row. Peter Steftatoy and Ruan Nokia in the locking duo. Peter Stefatoy, like I've said, he's played many different positions throughout this rugby championship. He's played 5, he's played 7. Now he finds himself playing as the number 4. Sia Khaleesi at 6 with Ben Jason Dixon alongside Jesper Wiese, who does return from his injury, or I was going to say injury, but his suspension layoff, which has left him out for multiple months. Cobus Reinach at 9 with Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu as the starting 10. Massive opportunity for that young man to really cement himself as that starting fly half. Damien Dialende alongside Jesse Creel in the midfield with Kurtley Arendse, the try scoring machine, out on the left wing. Cheslin Colby out on the right, and Apalele Fasi there at number 15. Then for the New Zealanders, the away side in this contest, Mighty Williams, Cody Taylor and Tyrell Lomax in the front row. To Mighty Williams, people talk about how huge he is. He's 144 kgs. What they don't talk about is the fact that Frans Malherbe across from him is also 144 kgs. I mentioned it near the start of the stream. I want the ball to be dropped a few times just to see those two men scrummage up against each other throughout this contest. Scott Barrett returns into the starting lineup after his finger injury. It does now bring him into the number 4 jersey. Tupavai transitions from 4 to 5 with Sam Derry moving from 5 to the reserves bench. Ethan Blackadder, the leading tackler throughout throughout the Rugby Championship, with the 40 at 6. Sam Cane at 7, his first start since the Rugby World Cup final, and Artie Savia there as the All Blacks. Number 8, TJ Perenara and Damien McKenzie. That is a combination that has to fire from start to finish. TJ Perenara, people have questioned whether or not he is quick enough for this type of contest up against a Springbok side that will bring physicality, that will bring uncomfortability. That's not even a word, but it's going to be one of those situations in the breakdown that if TJ does not get rid of that ball quickly, he's going to be met by a big player in the green and gold kit. Geordie Barrett and Rico Ioane in the midfield combination with Caleb Clark, Will Jordan, who is also just as clinical as Kurtley Arendse, and then Bowden Barrett at number 15. Massive advantage in terms of experience compared to Apalele Fasi. We have got this guy, forgot about the original supporters. All love, says Naz Williams, and there as well. I hope you're not talking about me forgetting about you, Nazi. I remember you, of course, alongside Marco, who is there in the chat as well. Will you be showing the game or just commentating? Says Yuli. And there we will just be commentating. Sadly, we can't show any match footage due to licensing. If we were to show anything on YouTube, they would take us straight down, and then we would be banned for the 3 months. We have there, let's go All Blacks Revenge Time, kia kaha from Charlie. And there as well, but the South African national anthem being sung loud and proud at Ellis Park. The atmosphere is electric, ladies and gentlemen. We have got there Hulk Sevens, Hulk Hogan here. How disappointed are you Leon is gone? I mean, it's unfortunate, but if there was something there that wasn't quite working, it's like you've got to address the issue rather than just trying to work through it. I know that there were a lot of comments made how Leon McDonald and Scott Robinson, they at least realised that there was a problem. Some people go through 25 years of marriage not accepting that there is. So it's one of those ones that at least they've got the situation sorted rather than just allowing it to affect how the team plays in the future. So it's going to be interesting. What is the attack going to look like here for the New Zealanders? And tell you what, the South African national anthem is being sung very loud at the moment. The South Africa is a proud All Black supporter, says Tanya. And also here come De Bok, says Kathy, and there as well. But Sia Khaleesi, big chance for him in the starting lineup at 6. Fireworks at Ellis Park after the national anthem has been sung. We are ready to go for a test match and a half. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, be sure to put in your prediction of who is going to score the first try of this contest. And also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But the crowd, like I said, loud and proud, getting behind their side. It is an atmosphere that you cannot buy unless you bought a ticket. But it's just a different feel when these two sides go head-to-head for the first time since that Rugby World Cup final, where it was 12 points to 11 when the Springboks brought up their fourth, that's not a word, I almost said fifth, but they're not quite there yet. 2027 though, who knows? But their 4th World Cup title. Man, that anthem was loud, says Grant. Certainly was. Now TJ Perenara, the All Blacks are going to do their haka. That's a bit rough. Someone the DJ's playing like dubstep while the All Blacks are doing the haka. Bit interesting. And we have got there, will he show us the match, or is he going to talk the whole time? We are talking the whole time because any match footage on YouTube that you show, you are pretty much taken down straight away and you could get sued. And I don't have the money to get sued. DJ doesn't care. Yeah, he's just blasting a little bit of the final countdown. I relish the fact that we can see that Khaleesi is a passenger, but no one with a microphone is allowed to say anything. Truth Tellers in the chat says power bite. And disrespectful as usual from South Africa says HD23. To be fair, I don't think he meant to. I think he just got the schedule wrong because there was a plane that flew over after the national anthems. Kurtley Arendse will score the first try. That is a pretty good prediction, seeing as he has been so clinical, already scoring 2 tries throughout this rugby championship. He is alongside Malcolm Marx, who has 2. Will Jordan also has the 2. The All Blacks doing the haka. The crowd singing. I think they're doing the football chant, the ole, ole, ole. And we have got their first try. Will Jordan says, War 1. Sitting in the middle of nowhere in Zambia without TV. Thanks for keeping me up to date, mate. Says Yako, no worries at all. Let's go, says Charles. And there as well. But the All Blacks, hostile environment by the sounds of it. The way that they are doing the haka, they can hardly be heard as the crowd letting their voice be heard as well. Rico Ioane, try time. Says Jane, then always feel for the All Blacks overseas, especially during the haka, and they're drowning out the haka. Love it. Oh, the plane's done another flyby, has it, or are they just showing it from a distance? I think they might have been showing it. I think they mistimed the plane. I think it was supposed to go over after the national anthem, but then the All Blacks, I think, were supposed to wait before they did their haka, so the plane has done a loop, and now it's coming back over. As well, the Emirates plane flying over. Football chant seems fitting. Springboks starting to play like it's football, says Riffman there. I mean, they're scoring a lot of points, though. 9 tries throughout the Rugby Championship so far for the South Africans. New Zealand, the same boat. 9 tries for them. And we got the South African brothers, says Infinity Gamer, in there as well. But ladies and gentlemen, do let me know your score predictions if you haven't already. This game is just about to start. The national anthems have been sung. The haka has been done. And now the referee has got the ball in hand. Andrew Brace, the Irish referee, Matthew Carley, Jordan Way, and Brian McNeice is the man in charge of the TMO. Well, All Blacks to win for sure when it is shown that sort of disrespect. When will teams learn, says HD23. We are now ready to go in this contest. I'm nervous, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of those games that you just have to sit back and enjoy, although I cannot sit back and enjoy because I also have to say what is going on in this matchup. We are going to be doing the play-by-play. They've got the camera firmly cemented on Sam Cane, I should say. Almost called him Sam Can. That's a bit rough, isn't it? Certainly not a can when he's out there on the field. Jesse Krill, 5 defenders beat him throughout the Rugby Championship so far. Damian McKenzie already dropping the ball when he was getting ready to do his drop kick. From Wales, hope the All Blacks smash them, says Funk. And sheesh, says our man. And there as well. But Damian McKenzie, New Zealand, are the side who will be kicking off this game from right to left at Ellis Park. First chance of the Rugby Championship for these two sides to go head-to-head. For New Zealand to top the table as well, I should mention they would need to win this game by 11 with the bonus point. For South Africa to top the table, they only need 1 point from this game, but they will be looking for the full 5. And the whistle is blown and we are underway. McKenzie kicks off high, chased by Caleb Clark, taken by Peter Steftotoy, who is then tackled by Clark outside the 22. Cobus Reinach, first box kick of the day. And it only took 11 seconds. Cheslin Colby chasing after it, well taken by Geordie Barrett. Sam Cane joining the breakdown. And I think, it's going to be the penalty to the New Zealanders. Cheslin Colby wasn't able to roll away out of that breakdown. New Zealand now have the early opportunity to take on 3 points if they want it. They are just inside of their own half. $20 says South Africa tries, calling some BS obstruction and even tries to stage obstruction. Says Riffman. Where's Stephen Donald when you need them? I'm sure he's in a commentary box somewhere, Beaver, isn't he? Anyone who doesn't know that's Stephen Donald's nickname, I'm not just calling him a type of animal. Looks like Geordie Barrett kicking this one towards the touchline rather than going for the 3 points. South Africa says infinity. And does the match start yet? It has just started, ladies and gentlemen. So Cheslin Colby giving away the first penalty, getting stuck in that breakdown. Geordie Barrett, unfortunately for him, he was just never going to be able to get that ball out rolling maul started here for the New Zealanders. Cody Taylor goes across to Geordie Barrett, runs straight at Sasha Fainbu Ngomezulu. Khaleesi looking for the turnover but couldn't get his hands on the ball. Savia has carry number 38 of his rugby championship, the most out of any player. Ethan Blackadder now tackled low by Jesse Creel. New Zealand in possession, sitting 22 metres out from the try line. Scott Barrett smashed by Oxnashe and Bongi Umbanambi. Perenara going back across to Adi Savia. Shut down low from Ben Jason Dixon. Perenara goes left. McKenzie off to Barrett. Short ball to Ioane. Almost through, but great tackle made by Peter Steph the Toy. Made a huge amount up against New Zealand in the Rugby World Cup final. This game will be no different. To Mighty Williams, no look pass. Lomax goes on the outside to Bowden Barrett. Spaces there for New Zealand. Blackadder out wide and almost gets driven into touch. I think Barrett kept it in. Might have been a partial knock on from New Zealand. McKenzie running towards the touchline before he's tackled by Creel. But New Zealand just managing to keep their ball inside of the field of play. Up to 10 phases in a row here. Perenara cross to Kane. He does a little shuffle, but he doesn't make too many metres as he is tackled by Oxnashe. But New Zealand first line break went to the Kiwis. Can they get another here? Perenara back across to Cody Taylor. Runs over the top of Ruan Nokia. Now Perenara again goes back to Blackadder. He's a workhorse. He might have dropped the ball. Did he know he hangs on to it? Perenara cross to Ioane. Met by a wall of defence from the green and gold. 15 metres out. Up to 14 phases now for New Zealand. Perenara cross again to Ethan Blackadder. We're going to sound like a broken record by the end of the game if they keep on doing that. McKenzie with a wide cut-out pass. Gets it to Adi Savia. Looks to the corner. Does get driven into touch. Great defence from South Africa, but the job is not done yet. They're 5 metres out from their own line, and they now have to get the line out right. We have got the new member on the channel, Juan. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. You're hitting that membership button. And yeah, it is on SABC. It certainly is. South Africa now with the line out chance. Have to make sure that they get this one right. Bongi Umbanambi. South Africa, the lowest line out accuracy of the whole rugby championship. Believe it or not, that is correct, but Johan Krobler hurt that quite badly in the last game. Nicely claimed. Peter Steph goes across Reinhardt to Jasper Versa, his first carry since returning from suspension. Pick and go, and there's partial obstruction from the Springboks, which now gives New Zealand the scrum, but an accidental offside from the South Africans. Bit of a miscommunication between Ben Jason Dixon and the man in front of him. But this game started at a frantic pace, ladies and gentlemen. Like I've said, it's always a test when these two sides go head-to-head. South Africa actually the lowest scrum accuracy in the competition as well. New Zealand second highest following Australia, with 94% of the scrums being won by the Wallabies. South Africa used disrespect little eggs. Says had a horn there and ABs are looking positive. Says Manny M. And also New Zealand is not playing around. New Zealand very aggressive. Box forward gas already. I do highly doubt it. These two sides will want to go that full 80 minutes. Springboks not really looking rattled as of yet. They've been able to defend when New Zealand used the wide channel. Now TJ Perenara to put the ball in for New Zealand. Into the scrum to Mighty Williams. Going here with Frans Malharba. It has gone straight down in the front row. Geordie Barrett now flat run over the top of Sasha Fainbu Ngomezulu. Khaleesi wanted to put his hands on the ball. Doesn't get the turnover. Savia tackled low. Trying to get a couple extra metres there. New Zealand looking to shift this one to the left-hand side. Cody Taylor almost set up by Scott Barrett with a short little pop pass. Kane get in possession. Thought about the inside ball to Lomax. But again, South Africa just struggling to get their hands on the ball as of yet. But New Zealand have not been able to score the try as of yet. Geordie Barrett bumps off Jesse Creel. That doesn't happen too often. That man's normally solid in his defence. Savia in behind to McKenzie. Now looks to go through, finds Bowden Barrett. Pass over the top to Kane out wide. Blackadder cuts back in with Blue, the try opportunity. And Sam Kane drops the ball. That was a poor decision from Ethan Blackadder, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, is it the advantage though? But that was poor from Blackadder. He had Caleb Clark with him, but he didn't decide to use him. They are just checking this to make sure that it is a scrum. Looks like there's a bit of a communication with the touch judge here. Great defence, says Salah. It's the penalty to New Zealand. Not rolling away. That is controversial. We'll have to see the replay of that one. Sam Cane is ready to avenge himself. Yeah, Blackadder, he got a little bit, I want to say, cocky there. You know, he tried to run over the top. He had Clark with him. That was where you just go out wide to Clark. Right, they're just checking this breakdown. What was the... I think it's Apalele Fasi. Apalele Fasi yellow card. We talked about it before the game. We said how he is a penalty or a yellow card magnet, just like Scott Barrett, and Apalele Fasi now has got himself yellow carded. That man cannot avoid the yellow when he's out there on the field. Got a yellow card up against the Welsh. What did he get carded for? So pretty much the reason he got carded was he played the ball, or he made the tackle from an offside position, I believe they said. He managed to make Sam Cane knock the ball on. We're going to see the replay here. I just want to see it. So he makes the tackle on Blackadder. So that's fine. Yeah, he then doesn't get behind the hindmost foot. So he was offside, and you could argue if he didn't do that, Sam Cane may have scored. But Sam Cane did drop the ball. Apalele Fasi asking about it, but it is an offside infringement, a yellow card, and now New Zealand have got themselves the penalty. Tackler getting up in the wrong way, says Andrew Brace, and now New Zealand once again kicking this one towards the corner. Get real. That is not a yellow, if so, penalty try, says Doctor. But yeah, I would say if Sam Cane didn't drop the ball, they probably would have given a penalty try for it. But because he dropped it, they're saying that it wasn't guaranteed that he would have scored it. But that is now 5 metres out from the line here. Artie Savia takes the line out. Rolling ball here for New Zealand. They're marching towards a try line. Taylor gets it down. And the try has been scored by New Zealand. 7 minutes into the contest, they have started this game off with a bang, with a man advantage as well. But Taylor, someone did predict Cody Taylor to score the first try earlier on. The yellow try. How crucial is that going to be? Apalele Fasi. I think Khaleesi's just asking, was there a little bit of a fringe or obstruction here? We're going to see it now. That is a clean rolling maul try for New Zealand. Unless it was something earlier. I think he was trying to say maybe Savia, maybe there was someone next to him when he was pulled down. If yeah, says we there. Let's get some points on while the Boks are down a player. It's easy with the ref on your side, Toto BS, says James. I mean, that one, though, Apalele Fasi was offside. So, like someone said earlier on, probably lucky that it wasn't a penalty try for it. We have good nice work. All Blacks, great start, says HD23, but now Damien McKenzie going to be lining up this kick. 8 minutes in, Cheslin Colby trying to charge it down, but McKenzie has got it down the middle, and that is now going to make the score 7 points to 0. Been a great start. We've hardly seen the Springboks in possession. When we did see it, though, Jasper Wiese had a really strong run forward. So I think the big thing here for South Africa is just going to get some possession in their hands. ABs are a bit pumped up, says a flesh in there. And what team got the yellow card? So it was Apalele Fasi for the South Africans. Did end up with the yellow card. Now Tupavai, looking like he's going to be getting thrown up for this one. Sasha Feinberg, Ngomezulu, that one. Did it go out on the forward? Did Rieko Ioane touch that one? I think Rieko might have got a hand on it. Or did he? The crowd are booing. There's been no decision made here. I think it hit Ioane. So it should be a South African line-out, which is... No, it's a New Zealand... Is it? No, it's a New Zealand line-out. Oh, I thought that hit Rieko. It's a defensive line-out, though, for New Zealand. Love your channel, bro. Khaleesi asked for obstruction in the ball. Wait, it's gone out on the full now. So, hang on. We need to see a replay. So, Rieko Ioane almost touched this one. Does he leap? Okay. So, because Ioane's foot's on the line, that counts as out. Or does it? Yeah, like they've just said, that is the rule. If your foot's on the line when you catch the ball off a kickoff, that is considered out in the law book. They've just clarified it. But that is from the TMO, ladies and gentlemen, who has got involved for that one. But Sasha just overcooking his kick just a little bit. It was almost perfect, though. That's the thing, only a few inches between being a great kick and being one that takes them back to the halfway line. Good call, says Wave Cycle. Yeah, it is the correct call. It's an ugly one. But like, it is the way that it is written, like, if that makes sense. It's just an unfortunate one that it does seem like it could be 50-50 in terms of the decision, if that makes sense. And now, line out on the scrum feed on the halfway line. Big push from South Africa. New Zealand just managed to hang on. TJ Perenara going for the kick in behind. Oh, he's got the 50-22, or does he? It's a scrum on the halfway line, but I believe it is a 50-22 for New Zealand. TJ Perenara pumps his fist for that one. What a beautiful kick. Says HD23. And setting off fireworks, playing music and singing while Haka was on. Price will be paid. Says Heaney there. And hi guys, says 123 MS. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Gave us on the field, disrespecting any opponent. Team it anyway will bring South Africa down. Says Falazi there. Now Caleb Clark, big run forward. 15 metres out from the line. TJ Perenara goes back across to Ethan Blackadder. Tackled by Peter. Steph the toy penalty to South Africa. Hang on. Double blow the whistle. Is New Zealand now going to end up with a player in the bin? Something off the ball. Oh, okay. Okay, Scott Barrett has just had the warning. TJ Perenara, it's a penalty against TJ for shouting at the referee. So that is a big, I guess, a big move from Andrew Brace early. He said anything in terms of shouting at me. So TJ was complaining about Sasha Feinberg, Ngome, Zulu not rolling away. The referee said you were yelling at me too much. Penalty against you. Now, Springboks have got themselves the line out. What's your prediction for this game? I went 27 points to 25 in this contest. Penalty for shouting at the ref. It is indeed, Andrew Brace said. So I think that's unsportsmanlike conduct is what the penalty is called, if I'm correct. Now, nice ball. Oh, Cheslin Colby almost straight through a gap. Gets back up to his feet. Adds another crack there on the halfway line. Now South Africa. Could TJ talking cost the All Blacks? Kobus Reinach going back across to Franz Malharba. Good tack on him on the halfway line. New Zealand, we talked about it before the game. They had to bring physicality into this contest. Ethan Blackadder looked for the turnover, couldn't get it. Now Ruan Nokia. Low tackle made from Cody Taylor. Now Reinach back into the pocket to Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu advancing forward is Jesse Creel. Bowden Barrett passes off to Damien McKenzie. Go for the little chip in behind. He's found a bit of open space, but it sits up for Colby, which is danger for New Zealand. Here comes Cheslin Colby breaking through two. 40 metres out for the line. Oxnishare going in behind Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu goes for the grabber in behind. Kurtley Arnsa kicks it forward. Needs the bounce of the ball. He doesn't get it. Will Jordan does though. Did he play that ball on the ground? They're 5 metres out from the line now, New Zealand. Bowden Barrett. He'll have to look for someone in the pocket. In fact, he'll go to Savia to make him a couple metres first. Honestly, that should have been All Blacks' advantage. Says Unleashed Mystery there. Now they've been told to use it. TJ Perenara back into the pocket to Damien McKenzie, who has a bit of an angle to work with, but he puts the ball into touch. Do they want to take it quickly? South Africa, Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu decides against it. Colby wasn't happy. He wanted that one quick, but they decide to stop it and have that line out instead. The end-to-end stuff between these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. Great kick in behind from Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, and then just needed the bounce of the ball there. Arnsa, it didn't work out. And on my nerves, says Patricia in there as well. I'm going to place a wager. What should I do? You should keep your money in your pocket. And we have got their South African flags from Sons of God here, RSA. Apalele Fasi not too far away from making his way back out onto the field, but it is the line out here for Bongio Manambi and the Springboks. So the All Blacks are holding one of those legs up in the air. I think it was Scott Barrett. It's gone down, and that will be the penalty now. That's for the maul collapsing. And excitement, says Milbay. And let's go New Zealand. Hold momentum, says David Vickers. And there as well, but that is against Tupavai. Do they want to go for the 3 points, or do they go for the 7 here, the Springboks? While you've got a man disadvantage, tell you what, they're going for the corner. They have decided that it is worth the risk. And it will put New Zealand now deep inside of their own area. In fact, about maybe 15, 20 metres out. Not quite the kick that Ngome Zulu was after. But Barrett, the man who was penalised. We mentioned about the penalty magnets. Each side has one. Barrett is New Zealand's. Apalele Fasi is the Springboks. Hope the ref behaves in South Africa this game and doesn't pull any funky business. says Unleashed. Now line out throw for Bongi Umbanambi. Oh, a little bit of a juggle there from Ben Jason Dixon going to the short side now. Sasha Brainberg, Zulu almost gets through. 5 metres out from the line. Peter Steph tackled by Blackadder and Kane. Now Kurtli Arinsa has the pick and go. He is crunched by Artie Savia. Tries to get back up to his feet, close to a 4 pass from Kobus Reinak to Jasper Vesa. Peter Steph tackled by Tamai T. Williams. As the Springboks bringing physicality here. Oxnitche gets very close to the try line after 5 phases, almost the most of the day. The ball, it's slightly stuck in there, and there's the penalty advantage now for South Africa. It has been blown. No clear release against New Zealand. Savia has gone full beast mode in this match, although that time he has been penalised for no clear release in the breakdown. South Africa is now 5 metres out. I don't think they'll be looking at the 3 points. I think they're having a long discussion here, though. Khaleesi and Sasha Painberg, Ngome Zulu, and again, the Springboks will kick for the corner. The crowd, they have that feeling like they're right on the verge of seeing their side get the first try in this contest. Apalele Fasi just warming up his legs again. 3 penalties against New Zealand now compared to the 2 that we have seen from the South Africans. But Bongio Manambi now throwing it in, finds a Ruan Nokia. Here comes that rolling maul. Looks like it's well defended for now, but Bongio Manambi breaks off the back. He uses the power and he scores the try. It's a day and a half for the Hookers. Taylor had one, Umbonambi gets the other. And 16 minutes in, South Africa have got themselves their first try of the contest. I just remembered that we do have this thing that we will have going along the bottom, ladies and gentlemen, the try scorers in this contest. But Bongi Umbanambi managing to score the try here for the South Africans. It was the classic rolling maul. Both sides have used it to their advantage so far. And he breaks off the back there, Umbanambi. And Bongi says, a Gus there. I know this is going to be a humdinger. Says Gary, oh, he's knocked it on. We've got to take it off. I'm sorry, Bongi. We've got to get it off you. It's going to be a no try for Bongi Umbanambi. Or is it? Hang on, they're going to... He's got 3 seconds. Ungume Zulu is going to get timed out. He got timed out. It was a knock on at try time. The conversion didn't happen. It hasn't been looked at, and I think I'm going to have to write that again, that Umbanambi's try will stand off the knock-on. Wow. Fair enough. Right, 7 points to 5, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot just happened. Knock-on, try scored. Ngome Zulu got timed out, so he wasn't able to take the kick. And now we sit 5 points to 7 in this game. Right. So okay, they're going to show the replay here. Was there separation? That's normally what they have to look at. He hasn't even got it almost over the line. But we play on. 7 points to 5. At the moment in this contest, ladies and gentlemen, New Zealand on the halfway line. Sam Cane hits the ball up 40 metres out here for the All Blacks. Now, Jordan out wide, puts the chip in behind. Awkward bounce, one well cleaned up by Kurtli Arinsa. And what a cluster says. It was there from Gary. Yeah, an interesting one. So come on, Kiwi lad, snap out of it, says Henry. And there as well. But yeah, so much to explain in just a short amount of time, wasn't it? Sasha Painberg, Ngome Zulu gets that ball into touch. And that is now going to be a line out here for New Zealand. Now, I should mention Apalele Fasi has made his way back out onto the field. A lot of signs in the crowd, which is quite awesome to see for the South Africans. I'm not too sure what those ones said. I know that Jesse Creel was in there, not a try, says Mad. And I'm not worried Bock is going to win this game by 15 points, says G and go the Bocky. Says Lumpka, but Cody Taylor now going to be throwing this ball in, stolen by Peter Steph Toy. No matter where you put him, you want to have him somewhere. Scott Barrett over the ball, gets the turnover for New Zealand. I think Peter Steph-Toy may have taken a bit of a knock there from Tupavai. Doesn't look too happy about it either. That means he will put in a big hit at some stage. Damien McKenzie trying the cross kick. Caleb Clark looking to jump up for it, and he's managed to claim it. Does win the aerial battle ahead of Jezelyn Colby. And the penalty goes the way of Damien Dialende in the breakdown. All Blacks is losing. Ha ha ha. I assume you're not talking about this game, because it's currently 2 points difference and New Zealand are winning. We're also impartial, I should mention, for this game. What the hell is happening? I honestly don't know. I think they've lost control of it a little bit, but I think they're starting to bring it back now. New Zealand needs to start attacking. Lose All Blacks, says Xander's life. And TJ, shut up, says Henry. Agrif needs a green jersey, says HD23. Although he's had bad decisions against both sides at the moment, I should mention, throughout the early stages. But now line out throw. It's going to be these South Africans who have got it. Looks like Ruanoki actually got a bit of a busted eye on that side. Now Umbanambi throwing this ball in. Nicely taken by Ben Jason Dixon. Kobus Reinach going across to Ngome Zulu. Knock on from Khaleesi. Knock on from Savia. And we go back now for the scrum. And well, says Weeby. And also South Africa all the way. All Blacks Rob. No try for box ball ref. Says Outlaw and Karma needs to hit South Africa for that BS knock on try. Says Mad Intellect. Yeah, although, like, it's one of those situations. I also do think that, like, it's unfortunate for the All Blacks, right? But I think it's also unfortunate for South Africa because Ngome Zulu, I think, didn't take the kick as early as he would have, because I actually think his kick went over, but because he took so long to take it, because he thought that maybe they were going to look at it, he didn't get those extra 2 points. So even though it wasn't a try, it still cost South Africa in some ways, if that makes sense. And we have got I think South Africa deserved the try for participation. See, it's called Story Bro. And South Africa cheating like, and come on, the All Blacks. Send them home with nothing. Now already we have had 22 minutes in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. The score is 5 points to 7. TJ Perenara about to put this ball in. Your prediction is 27-25 in whose favour? I did go South Africa originally in my preview. Or McKenzie having a bit of a juggle with the ball, but he's managed to regather a Rico Ioane ball on the outside of Will Jordan. Got plenty of pace, moves up to the 22 there for New Zealand. Counter ruck coming from the Springboks. And Jasper Visa trying to cause problems. I think New Zealand had a knee down. He's been pushed into touch, or has he? No, it's into touch, yes. And it's going to be South Africa who have got themselves the line out. It did look like Beauden Barrett did get that knee down. Have been ruled as the tackle. Hulk Hogan says to Sam Kane, take me in, brother. Says Dame set match. And it's fantastic. Says Eric there. As Marshall absolutely hammered on the sideline right. He sounds like someone said earlier on. He sounds like he's in a little bit of slow motion, doesn't he? If the kicker waits all the time because he's probably expecting the ref to look at it, you think the ref would have actually then looked at it, says Anthony. Now Bongi Umbanambi to throw this ball in. Gets it nicely to Ruan Nokia. Kobus Reinhardt goes across to Sia Khaleesi. Manages to hang on to it that time. Sits down Sam Kane. The two captains at one point. Going head to head. Sasha Fambu Ngome Zulu. Putting it high. Looks like Caleb Clark going up for it. Knocks it back onto the side of the All Blacks. Springboks now in possession. Counter ruck coming from Scott Barrett. The ball is almost there for South Africa. Once again, the kick behind from Ngome Zulu goes straight down the throat of Will Jordan. He's got plenty of pace. Can he find the gap? He's run straight into Oxnard. Manages to get the offload to TJ Perenara. Barrett goes across to Barrett. Kick him on from Beauden Barrett. And it's kicked out on the full from Beauden. Now South Africa having themselves the line out on about the halfway line. Would America stand a chance against Australia at this point? Says Katzenau. Probably not. Play to the whistle occasionally. Says Eric, and thanks for the excellent commentary, says GB. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here for all the games of the Rugby Championship. In 6.5 hours' time, there is another match that has taken place, and that is going to be the contest that is happening between the Argentines and the Australians. But Peter Steph-Toy taking it well. Reinach looking to the short side. TJ Perenara manages to charge it down, whereas Pollard, he is making his way off the bench in this game rather than in the starting lineup. They've given Sasha Fainbu Ngomezulu the chance as the starting 10 here. Line out throw now for Bongi Umbanambi. Only 2 points separating these sides. Cobus Reinhardt goes across Damien Dialende now to Kolisi. Good meters made by the Springboks skipper. Reinhardt looks off to Ben Jason Dixon. Both All Black shots coming into the chest. Okay. Hardy Savi has to get out of that one. It wasn't quite the rolling. More Dialende goes in behind. Ngomezulu slips over. Might have been the knock on from South Africa. Yes, it was, and they will go back. And it's going to be the scrum feed for the All Blacks yet again. Sasha got 5 minutes, then Rusty pulls him off. Says RJJ, you're not sleeping today, are you, Hamish? There's HD23. I don't think I'll get a huge amount of sleep, no. Maybe I'll squeeze like an hour or two in between the two contests that are taking place, but probably not a huge amount of sleep for me over this weekend. And we smash. Oh, where'd that go? We smash use next week anyway, is the comment there. I do see. It looks like Ruanoki having quite a few troubles with that right eye. It's like he's got a cut just there and the blood's kind of trickled into the eyeball. Doesn't make it too nice. Box are always nice to their visitors in the first half. Then they just do the job, bowing or not. And go New Zealand, says Jorgens there. Currently a fast-paced start to the game. Eben Etzebeth now makes his way onto the field for Ruanoki. Not exactly a bad replacement to have. 125 caps now to Eben Etzebeth's name. He is tying with Brian Habana. He's only 2 away from Victor Matfield of becoming the all-time most capped Springbok of all time. And ABs just need to play smart and cause the box to concede penalties, says Manny M. And too much tension, testosterone oozing out of every message, says Kerr. And also Cobra Tate has said the New Zealand flags in it there as well. But it is a scrum beat for New Zealand. Knock-ons equals try for South Africa, says David Vickers. And Hamish, ABs will dominate second half and run away with this game, although they haven't been able to so far throughout this Rugby Championship. Both second halves, they have actually struggled up against Argentina. Holy smokes, my heart rate shouldn't be this high at this time of day, says Distracted Sports. So I hope you are keeping well, Tony. You're excited for the next 54 minutes. I know a lot of people will have no fingernails left by the end of this game. I can tell you that right now. TJ Perenara, though, ready to feed this ball in for New Zealand. Currently on the halfway line, roughly. Just a little bit in favour of New Zealand. Now, Geordie Barrett, short ball to Rieko Ioane. Reinach looking for the turnover in the breakdown. Isn't able to do so. Jesse Creel getting up a little bit quick on that short side, but manages to retreat back onside to then move forward. TJ Perenara back to Barrett. That is Scott. His first game for the All Blacks of this Rugby Championship. Perenara goes back to McKenzie, who will look for the 50-22 once again. And Colby may have just kept it in the field of play across to Apalele Fussy. That is fantastic work from Chisel and Colby. Or is it? They will go back and it's called as a 50-22. Chisel and Colby just said to the touch judge, "Are you sure, mate?" Oh, his foot was on the line, I believe they've said, which once again, just like that kickoff, unfortunately means that he is out of the field of play. It's a rough rule, but it is there. Pretty much, if he had started just a couple more inches in field without being on the line, that would have been fine. But because he started from an out position, that is why it counts as a line out. Wait, no, hang on. Hang on, it's a Springboks line out though, because it wasn't a 50-22, my apologies. So yeah, it's still the Springboks ball, it's just that they didn't get to exit their 22. But now they have got the possession 20 metres out from the line. We're getting a lot of technicality rules throughout this contest so far. Cobus Reinach, he will put that ball into touch, well taken by Caleb Clark. He does not consider the quick throw. And we have got the new member, Taryn Lee Collins. Thank you very much for hitting that membership button. You now have access to exclusive emojis on the channel. The stream is banging, says Robert, who's winning at the moment. New Zealand are ahead 7 points to 5, but it is an extremely close game so far. Quick line out to the front there for New Zealand. Caleb Clark now running forward. It's through the tackle attempt of Seo Kalisi, who's a little bit slower getting back up to his feet. The physicality of this game starting to wear on a few of the players. Looks like Jasper Vies has played that one on the ground. Oh no, he wins the penalty first for not releasing. And it is the penalty now for Jasper Wiese. He's done well there. You're calling good, Kiwi lads. Well done, says Henry. Yeah, actually, where is George? George, I don't even think George was going to get up for this game. I think he's going to watch the replay of it. Oh, they're taking on the shot at goal. 59 metres out. Ellis Park. Oh, no, hang on. Is he kicking it at the post? How far are New Zealand from the try line? See, I think he's won that first, Jasper Wiese, and then he's lost his footing. So I believe that is a clean win in terms of the penalty for the South Africans. Now, Ngome Zulu from 59 metres out is going to be lining up this kick, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a tough one to line up. But he's going to strike it. And he's got it over Ngome Zulu, which will now give South Africa the lead. 8 points to 7 in this contest. He smacked it out of his hands while he was on the ground. The ball was out, useless ref. Although I think they're saying that he had already won the penalty for not releasing first. So that's where, because like you said, he did play it afterwards, but I think he had already won that penalty in his favour. Do we have to pay to watch it live? You do not. You can watch it on SABC. We can't show the coverage though because it is illegal. Like we don't have the licensing to be able to do so, but it's gone into touch there. Caleb Clark not quite able to take that catch the way that he would have liked. World Champions versus Haka Dance Crew. Come on the box. Saying Sons of God, RSA, what a bloody kick, says Darren. Yeah, the altitude, like they've said, anytime you play at altitude, you can have kicks from all over the park and try and get those longest ones physically possible. Looks like it's going to be the scrum for South Africa here, though. We'll mention anyone who is new to the channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for this match. We're on the road to 53,000. So if you want to help us get there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But now it's going to be a scrum. Looks like Andrew Brace just having a bit of a conversation with the All Blacks forward pack. Just trying to get them on the right track. A well chance of cheating, says Lincoln. And some other people show the match, says Johan Reur. Yeah, and then they get taken down, and then what you don't see is the ones who get sued and then end up in prison because you don't hear from them again because they're in prison. And in the UK, you can catch the game on Now TV for £15, says Dylan Unicorn. And yikes, I want to box you, brother, says Ivan. Now, ball's going to be fed in by Kobus Reinach. Scrums so far have been relatively consistent in terms of neither side being able to get that massive advantage. Bit of a rough pass there. Apalele Fassi puts the kick in behind, though, and it does roll into touch. Kurtley Arendse, though, anytime they put the grubber through, they end up winning that foot race. And it's just whether or not they get the bounce of the ball. I think we're going to eventually see the try scored from South Africa from a kick in behind, but New Zealand taking the line out quickly. Rieko Ioane on the short side trying to bundle through Peter Steph-Toy. That is impossible to do, though, when the man is tackling the way that he has been. Ethan Blackadder on the halfway line. Now Perenara goes across to McKenzie, who will go for the up and under. Bowden Barrett chasing after this one, going up for it, but Apalele Fassi always solid under the high ball. Now Reinhardt going to the short side to Ben Jason Dixon. Good tackle made by Tamaiti Williams. Knock on from Jasper Wiese. Cody Taylor ends up with possession. Tackle by Ox Nishe. Barrett diving in off his feet. Beautiful salad dummy from Damian McKenzie and Tyrell Lomax. There's a well set up try for the All Blacks. And Caleb Clark in the corner scores it for New Zealand. That is a fantastic team try right there. The sell of the dummies, though. McKenzie saw the rush defence of Jesse Krill. Manages to dodge Tyrell Lomax, the pump fake from the tight head prop to get through the gap. And then Caleb Clark out wide has the pace needed to be able to then score the try for New Zealand. Really nice work from Cody Taylor. It all came from the mistake of the Springboks. Knocking that ball on was Jasper Wiese of a rough pass from Ben Jason Dixon, and then it was a numbers game. And then Caleb Clark had just enough pace. Ngome Zulu managed to get the little ankle tap, so perhaps that could cause this kick to be a bit more challenging for McKenzie. And Caleb Clark owns the box. Now this game is still going, though. It's only the first half, so I don't think he can own anyone just yet. Nice fake on that Park, says Mad Intellect. And yeah, for a tight head prop to do that as well. Like, I feel like, ooh, McKenzie's missed that kick. So that ankle tap from Sasha Fainberg Ngomezulu might have been just enough to stop the ABs from extending their lead to more than 4. This is almost as good as a year's first right mango. Now I just want mango, no. Nice, says Donald. And also Dixon having a shocker, says ADR. He struggled a little bit, so with Roa Nokia getting injured early, it makes it a bit more tricky, but we might see Peter Steph Toy transition into the loose forward trio, but they'd need Nokia to make his way back out to be able to do so. Now a big kick, Adi Savia, I forgot how to say his name, but Adi Savia knocking the ball on there. So now South Africa will have themselves a scrum in a very good position on the field, about 25 metres out, straight out in front of the posts. Knock-ons are killing us, come on Bockies. Yeah, both sides really struggling to hang on to the ball for this game. I believe that is a blurry Rassi Erasmus that they were just showing there. The Ellis Park coaching box. Let's see a crash in the middle. Says Wham there. And come on, Artie, says Doctor. I think that's about a second or third handling error for Artie Savia of this match as well. And come on, Artie. We have got there Amish trying not to look like his team are winning. Says Jimbo. And defend All Blacks, says Nov Mum, and goes South Africa, says the Golf Brothers. Now 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Another opportunity for the Springboks to show off that scrum. Frans Malherbe versus Mighty Williams. Looks like, it's a good back and forth scrum. This time South Africa get themselves the penalty advantage to the short side. It's Jesper Visser, but he's tackled well by Barrett. Reinach picks it up. Trying the pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Losing his footing there was Damien Dialende, but there is still the penalty advantage in favour of the South Africans. Frans Malherbe goes across to Peter Steph Toy. Tackled by Kane. Looking left, this seems to be the wing that they're targeting, the Will Jordan side. That is going to be knocked on by South Africa, or was it? Yes, it was. I thought for a second that could have hit the New Zealand player, but they have gone back for that knock on. And now do they decide to go for the corner here, South Africa, or do you take your easy 3? I think in this case, they should take 3. Like they've just said, if they take a shot at the post from 60 out, but then their rolling maul has been so good, what do? It looks like they are going to take on the shot at the 3. That will bring them within 1 point. And ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, the score will be exactly what it was for that Rugby World Cup final at full time, just in the opposite direction. More knock-ons than the Colts match. And Glasgow mentality, go for the 7 every time. Have you had an offer from Jeff Wilson yet? I have not, no. Haven't heard from Jeff. Go big or go home, says Kerr. Now Sasha Fainberg Ngomezulu again to line up this kick to bring the Springboks within 1. Well, 2-1, I guess I should say. And it is straight down the middle. Expected of that man at this point of his international career to get those ones over more times than not. And 11 points to 12 now the score between the All Blacks and the Springboks. How's the weather? The weather is a beautiful afternoon at Ellis Park, which is fantastic to see. The last thing we wanted was a game impacted by rain, but we have got the opposite. It is a clear day, kicked off by Damian McKenzie, well taken by Visser. He's getting a little bit of attention on his knee just before All Blacks going for the counter ruck, and they've managed to get the turnover 22 metres out from the Springboks line. Counter-attack here, McKenzie on the outside to Rico Ioane, goes through the tackle attempt of Arendse, but over the ball, Damien Dialende again. That man is so good at getting onto it and winning that not releasing penalty. The All Blacks took the momentum. Damien Dialende said, nah, you're not having it. I'll take it straight back. And temperature is 23 degrees. Says, stay hunky. To be honest, that's about how hot it feels in this room, but it's actually only 7 degrees here in New Zealand at the moment. And, well, I wonder, says Homo TV. And also, we've got there, let's go the All Blacks, says Gamer Girl. Rico Ioane, just perfect body position from Damien Dialende. 2 clean-outs from the All Blacks, but they were too late. He only needed that split second to be able to get on it. Now line-out chance here for the Springboks. 2 minutes remaining, 7 penalties conceded so far from New Zealand. And come on the box, he's very lucky. Looks like Ben Jason Dixon, he will be substituted. We mentioned how he wasn't having his best performance. They've gone over the top, finding the hands of Sasha Fainberg Ngomezulu. Little flick pass off to Jesper Visser. Now quickly recycled. Damien Dialenda goes off to Jesse Creel. Little grubber in behind. Colby looking to get it and he doesn't quite do so. I think he's hurt his knee in the process. It might have been his hand. He gets a little bit of a tap on the back from one of the All Blacks, checking that he's all right. Cody Taylor had to leap for that ball to stop Chisel and Colby. But they're sitting 7 metres out from their line. Now New Zealand, only 100 seconds remaining in this first half. It has flown by. Great love for Damien Dialenda here in Ireland. Giant in a Munster jersey, says Jimbo. Now Cody Taylor has to get this line out right. Goes into Barrett and it's well taken by the All Blacks. Savia moves up to 10 metres out from the line. Jasper Visa lost his footing, got back up to join the breakdown. Now McKenzie kicks it high. Etzebeth doesn't get the charge down, but they do manage to find touch there. New Zealand. Cheslin Colby takes it quickly, finds Upper Lelefasi at a huge amount of running metres throughout the URC, the most of any player. Now Reinach, pick and go around the side of the breakdown. So dangerous in that channel. Upper Lelefasi has to play halfback. Now Jasper Visa bumps out of the tackle attempt of Sam Kane. They're 22 metres out from the line. Drop kick attempted from Sasha Feinberg, Ngomezulu, and it's away to the left. The Springboks looking to have that lead going into halftime, but that kick has missed, which has then meant 30 seconds remaining. I believe we'll see another drop kick attempted here from the South Africans if New Zealand do go with that 22 drop out into the middle of the field. They have to kick it towards the touchline if they want a chance of them not trying to return with a drop kick of their own. Now Damien McKenzie puts plenty of height on it. 60 metres out. It's going to be an up and under from Upper Lelefasi. Now Ngomezulu is chasing after it. Barrett takes it well and kicks the ball into touch. Is it half time or was there time left? There was time remaining on the clock, half a second, which now means that the All Blacks have to defend one more line out. A massive mistake from such an experienced player in Beauden Barrett. He just had to hang on to it for that half second longer, and it would have been half time. Is that the type of mistake that could cost the Kiwis here as we get close to the end of the first half? Now thrown in, good line out steal attempt from New Zealand, but they don't manage to get it. Now rolling more, they're trying, oh, that's knocked on by Bongi Onmanumbi at the back of the line out, but it will be play on. Cheslin Colby going to the short side, good pace being shown by that man. Gets wrestled down by Tamaiti Williams. That's pretty much the opposite ends of size of player. Cheslin Colby, one of the smallest on the field. Tamaiti Williams, one of the biggest. Here comes the first run from Eben Etzebeth. Now Reinach back across to the left-hand side. Peter Steftatoy showing his pace. Blackadder in off his feet. Loses the footing. There was a knock-on from South Africa, so that will now be half-time, ladies and gentlemen. New Zealand survive what could have been crucial era right at the end of the first half. We have got there, come on Kiwis, come on. Half-time score looks nerve-wracking, and yeah, like I mentioned, it is the full-time score of the Rugby World Cup final at half-time between these two teams. I feel like the second half is going to be just as intense, if not more intense, than that first 40 minutes. Two great benches still to come in this game. And New Zealand needs to let go of the white collar and ref clowning. Still great game. Says Mad Intellect and halftime. Beer says Manny M and this ref is helping South Africa big time. Says Dr. Pooh. And first half, or solid first half from both teams. Yeah, very competitive, very hard hitting. The ref biased. And a half of Veras from all, says Kurno Vic. And we blaze a 420, stop smoking crack, says Jaco de Villiers. And also we've got their ref has a tidy paycheck coming after this match, says HD23. But yeah, it's an interesting first half overall. But both of these sides, like I said, they've brought the physicality. They have stepped up to the occasion. We've seen 3 tries so far. We have seen Umbanambi score in the 16th. That, of course, was a pretty controversial one. Taylor scoring early for New Zealand after the yellow card of Upper Lelefasi, and then Caleb Clark scoring in the 33rd to give New Zealand that little bit more of a lead in this contest. South Africa need a bit of help from the ref to win games against the All Blacks, says Polly Guy, and they want the Springboks blood, and they will get it in, or get it, go South Africa. And we are the world champions, says Unathi there. And also, we have got the AB scrum, it's starting to creak, says Grant. And yeah, it seems to be that they, even when they had the feed, there was a little bit of a wobble in that scrum for New Zealand. But then that next one, we saw the advantage won by South Africa And I feel like it will only get stronger as this match wears on for the green and gold. And possession stats, please, Hamish. Says Lilia B. We will get some up for you right now in terms of what has been happening in this game. But like I said, it's a frantic pace to be able to play. And at altitude, I don't know if these two sides are going to be able to match what they did in the first half in the second. Because there's just been so many chug, says Caitlin. That's quite a bit of water in that one. You will notice, though, it's a bigger bottle than before. I've run out of water, or almost run out, in that little bottle. And a few of the match stats, ladies and gents, for this contest. The possession stat is 52% in favour of New Zealand, 48% for South Africa. In terms of the penalty count, we've seen New Zealand penalised 7 times compared to South Africa, who have been penalised twice, but at the same time, South Africa have been the side with the yellow card. That now brings their tally up to 4 for this rugby championship. And go easy on the pop, Hamish. You'll be peeing like a steer. Says Kuno back there, and go man go. We need 2 more tries in the second half, says Nayland. And there in 4-3, South Africa win 50% of their World Rugby Cups. AB's only win 30%. Stats don't lie, says third person. Although I was told by a South African earlier on that looking at stats doesn't matter, which I disagreed with. I agree that stats are very, very telling in terms of what happens, but I was reading them the stats of the Rugby Championship and they said stats don't matter, they don't exist because this is the game. But this game has been hectic, and both of these sides have been pretty much upping their game from what we've seen up against both of the other sides of the Rugby Championship. The difference is the handling at the moment. Both sides have made quite a few mistakes, and we have to tell me a website to watch it for free. If you're in South Africa, it's SABC to be able to watch this game. But so far, 10 defenders beaten by the Springboks, 8 defenders beaten by New Zealand. New Zealand have gained 174 metres compared to 132. If you complain about the ref, then it's sad, says Francois. Sounds like you're speaking from experience, Francois. South Africa getting help, but still losing, says Trajan. And Kyle first try. It was a knock on, why cheat, says Weeby. Yeah, that one was a bit rough from the rest, but at the end of the day, they are the ones who make the decision at the time. They may not have got it right, but that is still on the board. It's still the score. So both sides have to adapt to what has happened. And there I was trying to find a stream for ages. This is cool. Great commentary, mate. Safa in Sydney, says Vince. And there as well. So yeah, it is greatly appreciated. Early start for you in Sydney. Of course, we are also going to be covering Australia versus Argentina. The score matches the possession stat, says Lilia B. Yeah, pretty much. And losing by 1 the World Cup. Keep crying. Yumong, says Nick James. I'm not sure if you're talking to me or someone else in the chat. Most places in the world can watch for free on NZR+, says Liam there. And from a box border, let's get Hamish to 100k subs in there as well. But nonetheless, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Tackle stats, South Africa have made 71, so they have been the much busier side on defence throughout this contest. 50 tackles made by New Zealand. They have missed 10, so only tackling at 80% for this contest. Not you, mate, says Nick. And New Zealand needs World Rugby to clarify that try, says Katzenell. Yeah, but once again, like, it's one of those ones that they can't do anything about it now. So they have to take that out of their mind. Because if you dwell on that during the match as a player, it's like TJ. He got yelled at. They said, don't yell at the ref. We've given you a penalty. If he then went, and then ended up yelling at the ref again, he will be yellow carded. You know, it's one of those situations that you can't help what has already happened. You can just try and improve and try and, I guess, put your best foot forward rather than letting what has happened in that first half get to you. Because both of these sides, they'll look at that first half and say, we dropped the ball far too much. And also, you know, the All Blacks, they gave away 7 penalties throughout that first half. So they will look at those 2 stats and they will say, if we can improve on that, play our attacking style of rugby, we got some running meters, South Africa will do the same. They'll say, we beat defenders. I think that South Africa, something they haven't utilised enough yet, is that kicking behind to get Kurtley Ardense and Cheslin Colby chasing. I think that Ardense is going to score if they put a grubber in behind because there's been a gap there all day. Yet they haven't really tried to execute it enough. So if they do that, I honestly see Kurtley Ardense scoring very quickly in the second half. What's your end score? My score was 27-25. So I think that's still a possibility. The first try from Spring Clowns, says Ski and go the Bok. And also we have got the other Boks going to choke in the second half. We do not know. We haven't seen the second half yet, but one thing I can tell you is their bench is certainly stacked for this contest. We have already seen the change of Eben Etzebeth. He is, rather than Marco van Staden, he was added into the side 24 hours after the lineup was announced. We have also seen the change of Ben Jason Dixon making his way from the field. Now, I'm not actually sure if that was for Eldrick Lowe or Quagga Smith. I never actually saw who made their way onto the field. I believe it was Quagga, though. Eldrick Lowe probably being saved for when Jasper Wiese does make his way from the field, but they've still got Malcolm Marks, who's already scored 2 tries throughout this Rugby Championship. Grant Williams, Andre Pollard, 2 class players to make their way off New Zealand. They are yet to use their bench, but I'm curious to see how scrums go later on, because up against Argentina, in that first match, when these 3 men made their way off the bench, that is when the All Black scrum went downhill, and that could be when we see South Africa's scrum go up to that next level. But it's going to be a very interesting one. How did the TMO not see it wasn't a try? Says Otago Gold. It's a good question, to be fair, but yeah, like I said, the players can't dwell on it. They have to move on from that moment, because, or else then if your head's stuck in that as a player, you're not going to play on your A game unless you use that as fuel and you say, right, now we're going to up our game a little bit more. We're going to go to that next level. How much longer is halftime, says Josh? I would say it's probably another 5 minutes or so. I would say that the players have earned a relatively long rest from that first half. Manrico is on a dry spell. Yeah, he hasn't scored throughout all of Super Rugby, and that is something that is heavily going to let him down in the long run, I believe. He needs some sort of form. And well pleased with your commentary. Matt Greens from Portugal says, Rui, thank you very much. We have got there, Argo the Springboks. You can do this, says Akko there, and you're the ball, mate. Luckily, SABC has shown it, albeit no way to choose HD, says Proper. And there, is it legal to eat Springbok? I believe it is. I think we've had people in the chat who have said they've eaten it, so if they have, they've either broken the law or they are allowed. Hilarious on Stanley Severs don't want to talk about their first try, says Jake. And the TMO shot clock seems to be going really fast as well. Yeah, they don't have a lot of time. Like Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu actually got timed out while trying to take that kick. And he was a little bit unfortunate because Andrew Brace told him 3 seconds, which 3 seconds is really not a lot of time. I've been told, not from experience in certain departments, of course, but 3 seconds, you know, by the time you walk in or you at least do your rock back and then you go, you're pretty much not going to get to that ball. So he was a bit unlucky as well. They should have been maybe 10 seconds or 5 seconds just to give him a bit more of a chance. And we have got there, I think New Zealand will win this even by 1 point. And also New Rugby Rules says Vitamin Green, and what a quick referee. And Abies will finish them off in the second half and come on the All Blacks box. I'll be using the bottom squad on this half, play them against with their own game, unsettle them. They will break, says Zion. And I do have to give New Zealand a bit of credit for that first half, the way that they were able to have a bit more physicality than their games up against Argentina. They have been working hard to try and up that kind of experience from experience idea. No, I said not from experience, Caitlin. It's more like 6 seconds. Look at yourself before judging others, says Trajan. Who are we talking about? I'm a sexual athlete. I always come first, says RJJ. That's very good to know. Thank you for filling us in. And we've got 18 for the box. The All Blacks 26 is someone's prediction. So do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Second half, final score prediction. What's everyone going with? Do let me know. Can't believe they gave that try for South Africa, says Anton. And get that ball out wide. All Blacks in 6 seconds. Amish efficient, if you ask me. Yeah, I'm a very busy man. You know, you gotta get things done quickly, and then boom, you're gone. Literally. And how come all the All Blacks fans are crying when they're in the lead? Says Vitamin Green. I think if I had to guess, right? Now I don't want to guess too hard, right? But I would say that they have a feeling that that try could change this game in terms of like the end score, because it's such a tightly contested bout between the two teams. Those 5 points could be the difference. But at the same time, you know, both sides want to step up in the second half. They need to have better handling. I can see Rassi making a change relatively early on. Does he show the game, says Monique Cock? Unfortunately, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube, but we are doing the commentary all throughout the game, and we are also doing all of the Rugby Championships. So if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for these live streams. We have got the game between Australia and Argentina taking place a little bit later on. That one's going to be a midnight kickoff in South Africa, so if you're keen for a late night, be sure to check that one out. And go New Zealand All Blacks all the way, says Robert. And there as well. But yeah, we are very close to the second half so far. South Africa have made 2 changes in their side. New Zealand, they are yet to make one. We are all guilty of blaming refs, but they're not really going out there to cheat a side out of the game. Says Flesh in there. And yeah, like we've got to remember, just in the same way that players make mistakes, referees also do make the occasional error. Like Ardie Savia, he dropped the ball 3 times in that first half, and he is World Rugby Player of the Year, I believe. So, like, there's always going to be little moments where the referees will look back at a game and go, oh, we should have got that, and we'll try and improve on that. According to research, ABs tends to have a running stomach whenever facing New Zealand. You are definitely the best commentator at present. ABs 28, Bok 22, I think I saw there. And we have got there, with this channel being a majority South African channel hosted by an All Black, it's hard to be objective. Says Buffalo, I don't think so. Like, throughout the whole channel's existence, we've never tried to show favourites in terms of sides. Like, throughout that Rugby World Cup final, you'll see, like, we were going for both sides in that match, because I think the best way of doing the commentary is to call it as close down the middle as you can. That way you get 2 audiences who don't hate you, if that makes sense. Like, I've heard so much in the chat as well about the biased commentary that you get on TV for certain countries. And, like, you know, there'll be moments that it sounds like we're going for a team, but then 5 minutes later, people are like, hang on, is he actually going for the other side on these streams? Which I think that's good. Keep you guessing. Isn't too bad. The Bok tries was a knock-on, right? Yeah, it was, unfortunately, for the All Blacks. But then at the same time, like, that's not on the Springboks, if that makes sense. Like, Bongi or Manambi in that case is never going to say, oh, I knocked that ball on. Not in a match of this altitude. Literally, it's quite high up. But no, in a match of this kind of atmosphere, you're not going to say, sorry, ref, I think I might have dropped that, because to him, he would have felt like he grounded it. So he's not at fault. It's the referees and the TMO who then have to make the decision. They decided that it was fine. The players then have to go, okay, that's happened. Now we're moving on. It's been a while. Oh, I've been here a while. Hamish is always neutral. Says Lilia B. And smash these pretenders. Says Trajan. And box 14, New Zealand 12. Oh, was the end score. So you're only given 3 points. Who was the man of the half? Oh, man of the half. I think that I think it's going to be either Kurtley Arendse or probably Damien Dialende, just for those 2 massive turnovers that he managed to get. We have good there. Thanks, Kiwi lads. I changed channels from South Africa to you. Enjoying your commentary. Box to win this battle, says Usus. And Kiwi lads is non-biased, but he wears all black shorts during his commentary on your brother. Says War won a great commentary. Irish agreed. And it was swinging roundabouts today. A ref calls it for you tomorrow against you. That sport, says Adam. Yeah. So they can't use all of it, like, in terms of, like, just blaming that one moment. There's also, you know, those handling errors throughout that first half. If it wasn't for your accent, I'd say you're even-handed. Yeah, I can't do a good South African accent. I think if I tried, you guys would probably all leave. You're obviously not talking about yourself, little boy, says Manuel. You obviously not talking about yourself, little boy. Who are we talking about then, in that case? Now, second half just about to get underway. At half-time, it's got very dark at the ground, I will say, as it is evening now in South Africa, 6 p.m, but Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu gets us back underway for the second half of this fixture of the Rugby Championship. That was a bit of a juggle there from Tupovai. New Zealand just outside of their 22. The game is on, says Aldino. It is indeed. Scott Barrett now back inside of the 22. I believe New Zealand can now kick this one into touch, as they have it at phase inside of their 22. Damien McKenzie does get that ball down into touch. All Blacks making that mistake right at the end of the first half when Beauden Barrett didn't end up waiting long enough to kick that ball into touch. Almost gave the Springboks one last chance. I'm here for the Hamish South African accent, says Dylan there. Now Bongi Umbanambi. Long conversation between the Springboks. It looks like Ruanoki is actually back out on the field, which is a good sign. But Edsabeth has also stayed out there. So I think Ben James said, oh, it's an interception for Geordie Barrett. It's a foot race. He's not going to win it, or does he? Yes, he does. And Geordie Barrett scores the try right at the start of the second half. Mistake from South Africa. A rare mistake. They don't often throw an interception pass I've gone bright red. I almost ran it out of here halfway through. I messed up the word interception like 7 times in a row and almost passed out. But Geordie Barrett, what's happened here? Springboks, Sasha Feinberg. Oh, it's Damien D'Alendo, the man who I said was my man of the match for the first half, just gone and given his opposite number, Geordie Barrett, the try right at the start of the second half. Nice and clean, says Weeby. It's South Africa's the best. And the last thing I expected, I already seen some tears in your eyes. It's not even 80th minute, says Sons of God. That's normally just because I'm about to pass out when I have the tears. And that's how you touch grass, South African. And Outlaws had justice and there as well. But now an 8-point lead for New Zealand as that kick has gone over. I'm trying to update the score, but my face is kind of lagging. There we go. We are back now. But Jay Barrett has scored the try, and that was in the 41st minute of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Early start for New Zealand, exactly what they needed to build confidence. And now it's going to be another kickoff here for the South Africans. Nice take from Damian McKenzie. Evan Etzebeth, though, wins the turnover for South Africa. Both sides up in the tempo, and chance for the Springboks 10 metres out from the All Blacks line. I think Jasper Wiese dropped that ball in the breakdown, but they've said it's gone backwards. Oxnashare now on the carry. Reinach going back across to Evan Etzebeth. Reinach, short ball, Visa, almost going through, crunched in the tackle around the side. Better Steph the Toy. He's had one of the most clean breaks in the Rugby Championship. Reinach looking to the right. Caleb Clark was offside, but it didn't go out wide to him. Now again, the Springboks 9 trying to pick and go around the side of the breakdown. New Zealand give away the penalty advantage. Peter Steph the Toy, quick hands Nokia, goes to Colby. I mentioned earlier on, can he get a try? He pumps off Scott Barrett. Ball goes out the back door. Reinach now, mistake made. That's almost a deliberate knockdown from DJ Perenata, but they will go back for the quick tap. Apalele Fasi wants it, and he decides against going for it. Kiwi lads, a Springbok gives you bounce. Says Henry, I might need that. I failed high jump back at high school. I didn't even get a participation point. That's actually a true story. They thought I wasn't trying. I just couldn't get off the ground. We have got there. Nice run, says Weeblaze. But yeah, nice counter straight away from the Springboks. When you concede a try early on in the half, you need to then have a big player step up. And that is exactly what Evan Etzebeth did. Got in there, got the turnover, and Scott Barrett bumped off by Chisel and Colby. That is a moment that will be replayed. Oh, and then a slap in the face by Cody Taylor. Here comes the bomb squad. Malcolm Marks, Grant Williams, Gerhard Stennekamp. They brought on that many blokes that I can't keep up. I think we also saw Quagga Smith, and I think we also may have seen Eldrick Lowe also brought on. Vincent Koch is on the field as well. In fact, I think Quagga Smith might be the only forward that they didn't bring on, unless he is out the back somewhere. I'm about to start stress eating, says Dylan there, and score try South Africa. Bring on the impact squad, and this is going to be a very close game. It is indeed. But Malcolm Marks now to throw this ball in. He has normally got a very consistent line out. Also has scored 2 tries for the South Africans throughout this Rugby Championship competition. Well claimed by Nokia. And now New Zealand looking to defend the rolling ball. Nokia's ended up with his legs actually slightly up in the air. Well defended from New Zealand. They've been told to use it once. They have to use it very soon. Manages to flick it out the back. Grant Williams goes off to Damien D'Alendo. He wants to get that try back after making the mistake. Savia wanted the turnover. Blackadder penalised for not rolling away, but it's still going to be play on with penalty advantage. Peter Steph the Toy. Pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Driven backwards by Artie Savia. Now Williams goes across to Ngome Zulu, who's been cleaned up. And they'll go back for another penalty in favour of South Africa. That is now 10 against New Zealand in this game. And defend New Zealand says, Novmum, what do South Africa do now? Sia Khaleesi having the conversation. He's saying you need to talk to them, ref. That's too many. It's against Ethan Blackadder. And box restart is brilliant. Barrett floored by Colby. Didn't expect that one. SABC about 10 seconds delayed. I know what's going to happen because a neighbour's screamed before me. Says proper, and this sounds like the Springboks are going to be opting for the 3 points. I don't agree with this decision. I know that that's weird to say, and this will bring them back within 7. But for me, you're in the perfect position on the field to score yourself a try here because you've done so well to win that restart. But I guess they consider getting the 3 points they'd say that that's still a worthy reward for getting that turnover off the kickoff. But straight out in front, Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu does get the try. How long until a card against the ABs? I'd say only 1 or 2 more penalties and they will be in big trouble here. Box are exhausted, not fit at all. Says Hania. Although this game, you underestimate how quickly this game has progressed, as well as the fact that, we're at altitude. This is not going to be an easy game on the lungs of the players. It's going to be kicked off high now from Damien McKenzie. Well taken by Ebenetzebeth, 125 caps now for that man. Ethan Blackadder makes the low tackle. Oh, Savia straight on the ball and wins the penalty for New Zealand. No, it's Tupavai, in fact. Tell you what, the way he got in there, it looked like a Savia-esque type of turnover. Without the knock-on try, Box aren't actually putting enough on the scoreboard, so I understand the 3 points, says Anthony. And great job, Hamish. Says, my travel job. Do New Zealand go straight to the kicking tee? They do indeed. Ebenetzebeth just having a bit of a chat here with Andrew Brace. Asking about that one. Yes, good play by Savia. By correction, though, it was Tupavai. Just waited patiently. So he goes down. So then Cody Taylor has to release, lets him go, and then Vai just jumps straight in over the ball. And unfortunately, Goodhart Stennekamp did lose his footing, which then allowed for the turnover to take place. All Blacks are looking flash tonight. And we've got a gifted sub from Robert. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. Crowd booing as Damien McKenzie lines up this kick, but this will give New Zealand their 8-point lead back over the Springboks. It is still not enough, though. We know how dangerous South Africa can be within that last 20 minutes. And New Zealand, laid up against Argentina, hardly scored any points. So that'll be something that is in the mind of the South Africans as well. But that has gone over from Damien McKenzie, now making the score 22 points to 14. All I can say is this is what entertainment is all about. Great show, Hamish. I'll follow you forever. I'm a South African. Says GB. And yeah, it is greatly appreciated. The fact that we've got people from all around the world watching is just absolutely awesome. And we are going to be here for every game of the Rugby Championship. Well taken by Rico Ioane inside of the 22. Now Malcolm Marks looking for the turnover, but does lose his footing in the process. Arons has got a knock here. He does not look good. Oh no, he's wobbly. I think Arons is going to be off the field. This is a massive, massive hit for the Springboks side. Peter Stiftatoy telling Andrew Brace, he's saying you got to check on him. Now McKenzie, he will put this into touch. Arons will not be able to continue this game, and their only sub is Pollard. But they've got Grant Williams, who plays 9 all out on the wing. I think we're going to need to see a reshuffle here, though, from the South Africans. Arons cannot continue. The way he was wobbling around, yeah, he's not good at the moment. Arons, he's I don't know if he's smiling on purpose, but he's smiling like this, as if he's got a glazed over look on his eyes, though. So I don't think he'll continue. Oh, he just got the hip of Ioane. That hip bone doesn't normally move for no man's head. And Arons has unfortunately... Oh, no, he got the elbow. Elbow to the side of the head there. An elbow that Dracus du Plessis would be proud of. Although this one wasn't on purpose, of course, I should mention before, anything's said. But Honbre Pollard now on the field. They will have to have a bit of a reshuffle here in their line, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps we see Apalele Fasi move to wing, and we see Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu go to 15 in this side. And we have there watching from Spain, sitting in the beach. Says a windy there. It's overthrown by South Africa, but well cleaned up by Siokalisi. They've got the advantage now straight out in front. Cody Taylor not rolling away quick enough for the referee's liking. Good run from Etzebeth. Williams looking to snipe to the short side. Gets it away to Eldrick Lowe. Now Williams again, finding the hands of Ruan Nokia. New Zealand have to try and survive this early onslaught of the Mon squad. Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu, well taken by TJ Perenara, and they will go back for the advantage. I think the referee forgot about the advantage for a second. Double blow of the whistle. This is the All Blacks' last warning, I believe. I expect the team respecting the guy who passed away recently, the Kiwi lad, says Josh there. And also, their Blackadder is a beast today. Well, says G-Man, yeah, he's been extremely busy throughout this contest. Okay, no more now. I think Siokalisi's gone over and once again has said that's a lot of penalties. Those guys have got the yellow card out in the crowd, but for now, the All Blacks are not going to get their yellow card. And I know that it seems like a lot of penalties, but like there have been a lot of different penalties, if that makes sense. But with where they are on the field, I think they're very close to getting a yellow. Kwagga Smith, though, also very close to making his way out onto the field, ladies and gentlemen. A phenomenal player and just seems to have that real impact when he makes his way off the bench. And Kwagga to the wing. To be fair, he's a sevens background type of player. How long is Taukei'aho out? I believe he's back now playing in the NPC. I could be wrong, though. I know there's a few guys such as a Xavier Numia, some people thought would have ended up in that All Black squad eventually. They're just showing the worker, Sia Khaleesi. He's had a couple fumbles as well, but that has been the case with pretty much any player out there on the field. Even Adi Savia has been dropping the ball so far throughout this match. But that one interception try that New Zealand got of Geordie Barrett, that could be a massive difference maker as we move throughout this game. Altitude messing with the AB's reaction and roll. Way speed, I think, a little sluggish in that department today, says Jay Link. Dwayne Vermeulen on the sideline. Yeah, he'll be wanting to lace up his boots. He'll be like, boys, if you guys can't get it done, I will go out there and I'll show you exactly what you're supposed to do. This is an interesting match, though, says Josh. Yeah, it's been extremely entertaining from start to finish. It's fast-paced. Both of these sides, I think, have forgotten that they're playing at altitude. So they've been playing at a pace that I don't think can be matched for the full 80 minutes. Looks like Sasha Fainbu Ngome Zulu again. They've got two options. I believe they will take the kick at the post, though. Now, last time they did that, they then gave away the penalty, which got New Zealand back in front by 8. But it is against 7 Black in this case. So I believe they said, nah, they're taking on the shot. Guys, New Zealand's going to take it. It is still very early days. Still 30 minutes remaining. And a weak touch finder by Mackenzie, says Gita. And also 1 try, 10 pence, says we blazing. I really want to watch, but someone needs to work in an emergency, or someone needs to work in the emergency unit. Well, I do thank you very much for your service, though, in terms of working in the emergency unit. Probably not an easy job to do, but we will try and keep you updated. Surely you're not doing like a surgery now, though. You know, you're just working away on your tools and you're going, what's he saying on the stream? Did Sasha get the kick? Now, 30 minutes, 30 seconds left. Everyone have some Kiwi, says Amelia. Now the kick has gone over. It's going to make the score 22 points to 17, ladies and gentlemen. My end score prediction was 25 for New Zealand, 27 for South Africa. That is still highly possible with the amount of time that we've got remaining. Well, 3.2k viewers. Everyone hit that like button. And who isn't subscribed to the Kiwi Lads, hit subscribe. Says a Warriors 1. And there, yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 53,000 subscribers. So if you want to help us get there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Roa Nokia just thrown at Ethan Blackadder and bumps his way forward an extra 15 or so meters. Now Grant Williams be going for the box kick. No, in fact, he goes across the Sasha Fainbu Ngome Zulu. Andre Pollard playing more of a second receiver role. So Jesse Creel has moved from the midfield into the wing channel. That is going to be a knock-on from Damien Dialende. A rare error from that man, but it was a terrible pass from Creel, only round the bootlaces. And yeah, there it is. Jesse Creel gives him the high five. Says, sorry about that one, mate. And come on the rock fight to the end. Goes South Africa with a sad face from Caitlin. Still very early on. Still time, Caitlin, for your side to get back into it. More than 6 seconds anyway. Roa Nokia, he will now make his way from the field. That is for Kwagga Smith, the impact and a half player off the bench for the Boks. It has been a bit of a scrappy game at times and just not quite as smooth as both of these sides would have liked. But now, going to be a scrum feed for New Zealand. Bowling squad hasn't had much of an impact, says G-Man. And we have got their Kiwi tastes like chicken. That's why they're endangered. I ate them all up, says Kersha. And sorry, South Africa, says King. TJ Perenara. He had a much better game than I think a lot of people expected from him in this contest, although he did have that early penalty that he got penalised for yelling at the ref, which is a unique one. Scrum holding strong for both sides. Caleb Clark runs straight at Andre Pollard, as well as Sasha Fainberg. Ngome Zulu. Counter right coming from South Africa, not able to get the turnover. Here comes Savia. Almost held up by Elric Lowe. Perenara back into the pocket. Mackenzie, I thought he was going to go for a drop kick here, but he's going to go for the cross kick. Will Jordan running onto it, and he can't get to him. And the mark is called by Apalele And he will kick that one out. Didn't quite get the angle he was after. He rushed that a little bit. trying to get some extra distance. But now New Zealand, they have got themselves the chance at a line out from about 30 metres out. And the All Blacks need to stop kicking, be like South Africa. They when they go out of their half, says Hani Hone. And it was a gifted try and they still losing. Shanked it. Yeah, he didn't quite get that one the way that he would have liked. Nice throw over the top. And slap back, TJ Perenara. Now McKenzie, space out wide. Jesse Creel caught off the wing. Bowden Barrett going to Caleb Clark for the corner, and he'll get a second there. Caleb Clark gets through Cheslin Colby, and the double for the left winger. And the kick to come as well. Clark's just, anytime they give him space, Scott Robinson's going like that, saying, how did he do that? But Cody Taylor, with the risk of going over the top, almost claimed by Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu. He almost had it. Barrett did just enough there, McKenzie. And because of the change, because they don't have Kurtley Ardenser, that's changed the defensive pattern for the Springboks, which left the gap out wide as Jesse Creel was still defending as a centre. Apalele Fassi was out on the wing trying to defend it. And now Caleb Clark scores the try for New Zealand, his second of the game. New Zealand now with the 10-point lead. Clark, that was in the 52nd minute of the contest. Damian McKenzie, he's sitting 3 from 4 today. Can he make it 4 from 5? Lining it up. And it's missed, has it? Yep, it's gone away to the right-hand side. An exciting questions asked about of the box now. Although there's only 10 points difference, that's the big thing at the moment. Even with 10 points, the All Blacks should not feel safe. Because the Springboks have the ability of scoring 2 quick tries, and they also have the ability of getting a turnover right now. It's going to be kicked high from Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu, great take from Geordie Barrett under the high ball. Should have been 14 points, says Manny M. Now back in the pocket, McKenzie goes to Bowden Barrett. It was taken back, though. I heard the ref say it. That's going to be out on the full, and they will go right back to where it was kicked from. Mistake from New Zealand, not listening to the ref. And it's taken back straight away. South Africa back on the counter-attack. And that's exactly what they've done anytime New Zealand have scored. They've got the chance just outside of the 22. This time it's inside. But big mistake from New Zealand, giving South Africa an opportunity at one of their strongest parts of the game, the rolling maul. Malcolm Marks throws it in. Overthrown, though, from South Africa. Sam Cane jumps onto it, and this time New Zealand are in their 22. And Damian McKenzie will put this ball into touch. They get it downfield a little bit further. Cheslin Colby, do they take it quickly? Looks like they do. They're on the halfway line. Apalele Fassi tries the cross kick, finds the hands of Jesse Creel. Bowden Barrett rushed up, and he's left the gap for Creel to kick it in behind. But it sits up for McKenzie, who's going to run it back, gives it off to Cody Taylor. And New Zealand now making meters off the counter-attack. Tamaiti Williams to the short side, gives Clark no choice. McKenzie, New Zealand risking it here. Barrett off his weaker left foot. It was taken back, so not able to find the touchline. Here comes Sasha Feinberg. Ngome Zulu looking for the 50-22. Got a hand on it. There was Tupa Vai. Was it knocked on by Jordan? Yes, it was. And now it is another scrum here for South Africa. How is that forward? Was the quote from Jordan there. But when you drop the ball, you risk the referee. Yeah, you could call it a knock on. Even if it goes slightly backwards, if you drop it, you give the referee an opportunity. And now, another scrum here for South Africa. New Zealand just haven't been able to get out of their own half in the last couple minutes. South Africa relentlessly trying to get that next opportunity to score and get back into this game. And let's go, ABs, let's go. And must use the scrum 100% now, says Tommy. Yeah, the ideal situation here for the South Africans would be to get themselves the scrum penalty. He dropped that really badly, says RJJ. And also we've got the let's go the block. And also has New Zealand even used their bench? Not yet. I don't think they made a single sub. Here we go. Now Tamaiti Williams. He will be taken from the field. That is going to be for the replacement offer, Tuangafasi. How much time left, says Dan? Still another 25 minutes left. Too many breaks. Let's play, says the realist. And are you going to talk? Are you going to talk us through the whole game instead of playing it? Says Yanap. Yes, because if you show the game on YouTube, you get banned. You get banned for 3 months. You get sued. And I don't think you'll pay the legal fees, unfortunately, because you're not willing to pay for the game in the first place. Go to the box, says Jeremy, Sweet Caroline. Yeah, got to have a bit of Sweet Caroline at the ground, of course. But it is available on SABC for anyone who is in South Africa who wants to watch this game. 4 tries to 1. New Zealand absolutely smashed South Africa, says username. But once again, the game's not over yet. Still another 25 minutes remaining. Grant Williams now getting ready to feed this ball in. Oh. Okay, we've got another scrum reset. This will use up more time on the clock. There's still too much time left in this contest to have this scrum determine the game. 23 minutes, you mean? Says Josh. Yeah, sorry, 23 rather than, what did I say? 33, did I? Can't do maths at this stage. My brain's going too quick. South Africa trying to slow this game to a walking pace. Says HD23, South Africa won't come back, says John. Although if they get a 3-pointer here, they'll be back within the 7, which would give them at least a bonus point in this scenario. For New Zealand to get first on the Rugby Championship table at the end of this round, they would need to win this game by 11 points, just to put that out there as the type of margin. And now Grant Williams. Oh, too much wheeling in that scrum, or too much movement, so it is going to be a reset. South Africa trying to make this a boring game again, says Soa Jr., and bring Ratma on now to finish it, says Kershaw. I say it again, never underestimate the mighty ABs, says Trajan. Yeah, just a bit too much movement at scrum time. Andrew Brace has just said no one's getting rewarded for a scrum going sideways. Off a Toanga Fasi first scrum of the match for that man. Well, now second, because that one was reset. He's going here there with Vincent Koch, Mr. Incredible himself. The familiarities are uncanny between him and the cartoon. He's got that superhero strength as well in the front row for the South Africans. Now Grant Williams feeds the ball in. Scrum's holding strong for both of these sides. They've been told to use it. They actually went backwards a little bit there, South Africa. Grant Williams goes to Andre Pollard. Tries to bump off McKenzie. The ball is there. Williams now going off to the left-hand side. Here comes Elric Lowe. Looking for the strip. Wizardi Savia. He's going to go for it off better. Steph Toy as well. Barrett relentless in the breakdown. New Zealand looking for turnovers. Elric Lowe, fantastic hands from the Bulls. Number 8. The Springboks inside of the 22 while the All Blacks. Great defence from Ofa Tuanga. Fasi knock on from Williams. 10 metres out from the line. That is where you cannot make your mistakes. Why doesn't Grant Williams start though? He's just shown why he dropped the ball. No, he's a very good player. I like Reinach in the starting lineup partnering with Ngome Zulu though. I feel like it just offers you a little bit more stability when it comes to the kicking. Williams very good with his pace and very good with, I was going to say, picking and going around the breakdown. We have got their high or offer with the hit, and come on New Zealand, says Rita there. Still 22 minutes remaining in this contest, ladies and gents. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure. I almost dropped my phone, that is why I flinched. But be sure to hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the road to 53,000 subscribers. We're only 280 away. So if you do want to help us get there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're here a little bit later on tonight as well with the game between Australia and Argentina. That is kicking off in 5.5 hours' time. So if you do want to help us get to that big milestone of 53,000, which is absolutely insane, I'll just put it out there right now. Yeah, if you want to help us get there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Fletcher Null now on the field for New Zealand, so they are starting to empty their bench. Although at this point, it has just been the front row that they have decided to make the changes of. Now, New Zealand, in their last game up against Argentina, it was once they made their changes off the bench, they stopped scoring points. I think they may have only scored 1 try, if not 0 tries, during that time when they made their changes. So perhaps that's something that Scott Robinson is looking at here. They've just shown a stat, 9 handling errors for the South Africans compared to the 3 in New Zealand. That has been a big difference maker throughout this game. I didn't expect New Zealand to be leading by now. I thought by now they would be trailing, chasing the game, but so far so good, says Sihu. Now back into the pocket to Damian McKenzie. Once again looking to get it into touch, and that is a great kick from Damian McKenzie. Rassi fell victim to the AB's fake insta-posts. And if the AB's claim a 7-pointers in the next 5, or so it could get a little embarrassing for the box, says Gita. In 20 minutes left, Almore needs a good one, says Doctor there. Malcolm Marks, though, with the line-out throw here for the New Zealanders. For South Africa, I should say. We are yet to see him, Will Jordan, or Kurtley Arendse score another try. Now, Arendse has not returned to the field after his injury. That's overthrown by Malcolm Marx, and now New Zealand back in possession. Ardie Savia gets it to Barrett, who will go for a big kick downfield. He's overcooked it a little bit. Apalele Fassi, though, he will look to run it back. Kicked it in behind. He's going to have a chance, and he's caught it up. Ellis Park, brilliant work. Kicked it in behind. Quagga Smith chasing after it. Will Jordan having to clean that ball up, and he's done so very well. Kicks the little chip in behind. Rico Ioane chasing after it, running onto it. It's Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, Blackadder in the breakdown. He wants the turnover, but he cannot get it. Cock goes short to Malcolm Marx, but again, the South Africans are on attack. 30 metres out from the line, little kick behind from Ngome Zulu, and it rolls into touch 5 metres out from New Zealand's line. An experienced kick from an inexperienced player in Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu. But this game just keeps on going. In terms of one side will be on attack, then the other side get it. All came from that mistake throw of Malcolm Marx, yet now they're in a bit of better position than if they had probably won that line out. So it just shows you how quickly this game can change, and it's going to keep on changing. Sia Khaleesi, he is now going to make his way from the field. I don't know who they'll bring on now, because I think they've made all their subs, so I'd assume that they have to bring Rua Nokia back out on the field, is it? I'm looking around seeing, yeah, I think it is Rua Nokia who made his way back on. They've gone in there, New Zealand, claiming it. TJ Perenara, short ball to Savia. They'll get 10 metres out from their line, but the Springboks still keeping that pressure on. The penalty goes the way of the All Blacks. Very good commentary tonight from a South African. Says GB there. Thank you very much, mate. And anyone who is new, like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are greatly appreciative of everyone tuning in for these live streams. We've had a huge amount of viewers, much more than we could have anticipated for this game. So if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Do you have an Insta account for Rugby News? We have an Instagram, but we don't post rugby-related stuff on it. We don't actually post on it. But maybe we should in the near future. But normally in terms of team updates, lineup predictions, lineup updates, everything along those lines, and everything to do with the Rugby Championship, we do post videos throughout the week. So we will let you know as soon as South Africa announce their team for next week's game and everything along those lines. So the channel is definitely the place to be if you want your updates. Overthrown now from New Zealand, but it's knocked backwards by Ethan Blackadder. Now TJ Perenara will get ready to feed this ball into the pocket, and they do go high and across field here. Looks like going up for a Clark. What a game he has had so far for the All Blacks. Manages to claim that one. TJ Perenara, Bowden Barrett goes across to McKenzie. Pressure on him, but he gets the pass away in the rush defence from the Springboks. Has backfired. Will Jordan in open space. Can't quite link up. Cheslin Colby, fantastic tackle around the bootlaces. Now McKenzie. New Zealand shifted off to the left-hand side. Geordie Barrett goes for the kick in behind. And now the Springboks will have the line out from inside of their 22. And Leckerbox says Rikus there. And it's only the first half. Well, it's the second half, but yeah, there's still 17 minutes remaining in this match. At 4:31 a.m. Sunday, says Arthur Morgan. Yeah, that is what the time is at the moment here in New Zealand. It's a late night, that is for sure, but we are going to be here all throughout this game, all throughout next week's game as well. It's taking place at the exact same time as this one. We are going to have a big build-up for that game, so be sure, if you are new, to hit that subscribe button. It was their own line out. So Eben Etzebeth claiming yet another one. He is still the leading line out. Man, penalty for New Zealand. That one hurt my, whatever that is down there. I was going to say my asparagus, but that's not the word. What's the word for the appendix? That's the one, not asparagus. That's a vegetable. Not releasing the ball. Penalty going against Eldrick Lowe there, New Zealand. This could be the opportunity to kick for the corner and add more points. Or you go for the 3 and get a 13-point lead. What is the plan here for New Zealand? They kick it for the corner. They want the win. And this might be a very good opportunity to do so. Any cards, Hamish? We've seen the 1 card for Apalele Fassi. Other than that, no cards throughout this game. How many subscribers you had with the World Cup final? Says Piet, I believe for the World Cup final we made it up to around 40,000. That's going to be the short line out there for New Zealand, trying a training move, and it hasn't quite worked out. Springboks defending it well. TJ Perenara goes across to Blackadder, crashes at the line. Quagga Smith wants the turnover, but he can't get a Fletcher Null. The pass was behind him from TJ. She makes a trick, and Quagga Smith is in there, and the Jackal was phenomenal, and he's managed to get the turnover. New Zealand, no ball security. Now back into the pocket, Sasha Painberg, Ngame Zulu does get that one into touch. It will be just outside of the Springboks 22, but will New Zealand regret not going for the 3 points? Oh, he's yelling at the touch judge. Is he going to get a yellow card? Or not a yellow card, but a penalty against him? TJ Perenara did in the first half. 15 minutes remaining now. Honestly, you got to watch this game later. I watched it, says Riff Man. Yeah, it's been a phenomenal game of rugby in terms of the pace that both of these sides have brought. The physicality has been the forefront. TJ Perenara passes across to Rieko Ioane, still in his try drought. Caleb Clark's already got 2. If he scores again here, he'll be one of the leading try scorers of the Rugby Championship. Tupavai in behind to McKenzie. Great pass. Rieko just can't quite get that next pass away there. South Africa diving on the ball. Do they get the turnover? They do. Quagga Smith now going around the side of the breakdown. It was very scrappy there, but it's popped out the back door. South Africa now with the attacking chance. Apalele Fasi. It's a 3-on-1. Will Jordan outnumbered. He goes himself. Little grubber in behind to Cheslin Colby. He can't bring it in, and it goes into touch. Chance and a half, though, for South Africa. That was almost Colby's opportunity. Apalele Fasi, fantastic run from the back. Came from the mistake from New Zealand. Lack of ball security. But once again, just very close, yet so far for the Springboks. We got the donation from Bill. Thank you very much, Bill, for your generosity. Get that asparagus checked out. Put Hamish, says Bill. But great run from Apalele Fasi. And once again, outnumbered out wide. I mentioned about it. The kick in behind is where the Springboks will find success, but they have been too keen to kick it towards the touchline rather than cutting back inwards a little bit more. And Fasi and Colby give me a heart attack, says Marco. Looks like Mark Talia has now made his way onto the field. Cortez Aratama is on the field for TJ Perenara. And then Talia is on the field for Will Jordan, who, I'll be honest, hasn't had his best performance here up against South Africa. So Talia, can he be defensively sound in the later stages of this game? Because honestly, if you base it off what we have seen, someone from Botswana in the crowd showing off the flag. But yeah, if you base it off Super Rugby, you'd say that Talia's wing is now the target for the South Africans. TJP is off. Okay, I can breathe again. And they're throwing away their chances, says Lena. And yeah, they've had so many throughout this game for the Springboks. Many chances to just get that next try to get them back in the game. If they scored there and got the 7, 3 points difference between these two sides, and still 14 minutes remaining. Asafa Moore, his first throw is successful. Goes straight to Tupavai. New Zealand, it has been called as a rolling maul. They need a halfback. Cortez Aratama is in the breakdown. They go back. Oh no, there he is now. Cortez Aratama. His kick is charged down. Bit of a mistake there from South Africa. 2 men going up for the same ball. Mark Talia going for the clean out, and he's got the turnover for New Zealand. McKenzie sends this as far downfield as he can, but they're going back for a penalty now. 21 black, that is against Cortez Aratama. 21 black, he is offside. So now the Springboks a chance to either take the 3 or go for the corner. They're showing Ethan Black at it, but he did say 21 black. Cortez Aratama, he's come on the field. He's had a kick charge down. He's made a mistake, and he's also given away a penalty. Now kicking this one towards the touchline. Scoreboard is locked in for the 80 minutes. And Bok can still make a point, says Lena there. And this could have been a much higher scoring game from both sides. Too many misstops, says J Link there. But South Africa, they will be 10 metres out from the line. New Zealand have conceded 11 penalties. Malcolm Marks, that throw was a lot more successful than the last. Now going forward. One stop, it's going sideways, says the referee. They have to use it soon. They've straightened. They were told to use it by Andrew Brace. They're not stopping yet, though. Still committing to the rolling maul. New Zealand going through the side. It was off Atuanga Fasi who pulled it down, and that is another penalty, and I think this should be a yellow card against New Zealand. Yes, he's going to the pocket. Your commentary is next level, says Stretch Fletcher. I think it's off Atuanga Fasi. Yes, it is. Referee told them to use it. They then continue moving forward partially, and then off Atuanga Fasi. He's coming through the side, and he has been yellow carded. That can change this game, ladies and gentlemen. How much time left? 12 and a half minutes, and the Springboks now are in the box seat of being able to get themselves a try back in this contest. But now kicks it for the touchline again for Ngome Zulu. Great commentary as always, watching from Bolivia. Come on the AB, says Dave. Like they've just said, the one thing that the All Blacks didn't need was a man disadvantage in the final moments of the game. 5 metres out from the line. Malcolm Marks now to throw this ball in. Straight to Ruan Nokia. Now Brace has been generous in terms of his rolling maul calls. They've been told to use it once, I believe. Malcolm Marks now breaks off the back almost straight into Andrew Brace. They're 5 metres out from the line. Grant Williams goes across to Vincent Koch. He is tackled well by Blackadder as he slips. Peter Steph the toy wrestled down again. New Zealand, there's a little bit of alertness about the way that they are defending here. A bit of desperation. But South Africa, they are feeling desperate as well to score the try, and they're over. And they score it. It's Quagga Smith, the impact player, who gets the try. Back in the game now for South Africa. 14 versus 15. Can they change this game late? The Springboks with Quagga Smith, they are showing Ofa Tuangafasi, who made the initial mistake, but it is the impact player. I mentioned about it in the build-up. This man brings an impact that no other player in world rugby brings from a bench, and he's just scored for the Springboks here. All Blacks for the win, says Japstar. This game adding a little bit more tension as we come down to the wire. That kick has gone over 11 minutes to play. New Zealand have got the lead by 3 points. Here we go, game on. That one was not knocked on by Quagga Smith. Had control of it the whole time. I'm sure they would have been looking closely at that one. And we have got there no need to start, or New Zealand need to start attacking. And Quagga deserved that try in another 1 point game, says Neo there, although we could have a drawn game. Possibly New Zealand a little bit slower getting back to the halfway line. McKenzie's dropped that ball again. I think he's dropped it every time someone's chucked it to him to drop kick in this contest. Ethan Blackadder making his way from the field, had a huge amount of tackles. Big bit of work throughout this contest from that man. Where were you the whole time? Says we've been here. Now kicked off long. Elric Lowe runs it straight at Summer Penny Finau and sits him down. But Derry, he is on the field for Vai, and Finau is on the field for Blackadder. Now kicking towards the touchline there. Walking the tightrope is Geordie Barrett. He's tried to flick it back in. Did it come off a South African hand? Barrett saying he couldn't do anything with it. I think South Africa will have this line out throw now. For 10 minutes remaining. South Africa have taken this game by the scruff of the neck, and they have decided that this is where they are going to have their comeback. Finau got smashed. There's RJJ. Yeah, Elric Lowe, he is not an easy man to put down, that is for sure. Malcolm Marks, though, ready to throw this one. Where are they going to go? They go to Ruan Nokia. Cross to Grant Williams. Here comes Quagga Smith running at Sam Cane, driven backwards in the tackle. New Zealand want to win the turnover. They won't be able to do so just yet. Sasha Fainberg Ngome Zulu kicks it high. It's going to be an awkward one. Clark has lined up most of them. Barrett running onto it. Knocks the ball on. Back to Upalele Fasi, who now goes for the boot and behind. It's got a lot of distance on it. Mark Delira is back there to clean up. Picks it up well. Goes across to McKenzie. It's got all the time in the world. Oh, he's been almost taken out by Nokia, not on purpose. South Africa, oh, they don't take it quickly. Or do they? Yes, they do. They've gone over the top. New Zealand need to regroup. Sasha Fainberg, Ngome Zulu, looking for the 50-22. Doesn't get it. McKenzie now has the opportunity to boot this one downfield, and it doesn't find the touchline. TJ Piranara is looking to try and get a penalty against him for yelling at the ref from the sideline. Geordie Barrett takes it well, runs up the middle, and Quagga Smith makes the tackle on him. Kane is tackled. Ratama goes across to Asafua Moore, the bulldozer for the Hurricanes. Tackled by Elric Lowe. Oh, Marks wanted that one. He was close to getting that turnover. Back into the pocket. McKenzie again, kicking him behind. Sasha Fainberg Ngome Zulu. He's kicked it in the field of play just. Bowden Barrett gets the bounce of the ball. I don't think New Zealand are going to win a territory play up against the Springboks here. He kicks it into touch. about 40 metres out. Good territory gain for the Springboks here. Fussy rising box star, says Floyd. And also time left, says Orion at the moment. Still 8 minutes remaining in this contest. Malcolm Marks getting ready to throw this one in. This game has been a blinder. My prediction was 25-27, but that was in favour of the Springboks. Could it be 27-27 at the end of this game? The crowd getting into it at the moment a little bit. A Seven Nation Army playing over the stadium. Marks thrown into Ruan Nokia. That's a really well set rolling maul for the South Africans. Do they look to use it? Malcolm Marks hanging on to it. Now Williams, when he needs to get out of it, he's been told multiple times, doesn't listen to the referee. He's given away the penalty advantage. Now Cheslin Colby, good tackle. Oh, one of his knees went one way, one went the other. Got a chance, though, to take a three-pointer if they want it, but they want the 7. Artie Savia gets in the breakdown, wins the turnover, but if Samapeni Finau had his ears on, that would have been New Zealand's ball, but now they will go back. Chance for Sasha Fainberg, Ngome Zulu to make it 27-27, or do they want the 3? Do they want the corner for South Africa? They're going for the corner, ladies and gentlemen. They know that this is their opportunity to put a mark on this game, put a stamp on it. He's just got it into touch. That was about that far away from being dead, ladies and gentlemen. But South Africa now, Grant Nisbet in the commentary has said this is for South Africa to win the test match. He is thinking that this will be the difference maker. The ref is 100% favouring the box. Says Gita there. And chat, be quiet. Says Rose now. Penalties conceded 13 against New Zealand. Possibly lucky to only have 1 yellow card against them. Rolling maul. Being hung on to. That ball's getting lost in the middle, but I think Malcolm Marks has still got it. Yes, he does. He breaks off. Cortez Ratama has somehow shut him down. Does he roll out of there enough? They don't get the turnover. Now across the pitter, Steph Toy wrestled down by Anton Lennon. Here comes Quagga Smith. He's 1 metre from the line now, ladies and gentlemen. Grant Williams, another advantage, and they go over the box. 5 minutes left, and they are back in the lead. Anyone who said 10 points was enough for New Zealand to hold on has just been given that reality check, because Grant Williams has just scored another try for the South Africans. One moment, we've got to update this. We'll go like that. Go like this. Oops, that's not how you spell Williams. The M was in the wrong place, but he has got over the try line. They were on the verge of another yellow card as well, New Zealand, giving away repeat infringements, but they can thank Samapeni Finau for that one. And the champs are back. And also, Sack Razor says Crumpers in the box. Says Kingman, if this kick goes over the Springboks once again, they will be on their second longest streak of scoring 30-plus points per game since 2017. That one has gone over, ladies and gentlemen. And 31 points to 27 now the way that the scoreboard sits. But Grant Williams diving over the top of Cortez Ratama. And Rassi up off his feet, celebrating big time. There's only 4 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. I believe New Zealand still have 14 on the field. Missed tackle from Mark Talia. What is new? Samapeni Finau now dragging down Elric Lowe. New Zealand need a try to win this game. Now Grant Williams has gone from New Zealand playing the territory game, trying to keep South Africa inside of their half. Now South Africa will return the favour. Nice take from Geordie Barrett, gets it across to Bowden. Now McKenzie tries to pin his ears back, looks for the offload, no, instead does take it around. Here comes Sam Derry attacking, run at Eben Hetzebeth. The knees are down. South Africa ripped it away. That should have been a penalty to New Zealand. It was clearly grounded there. New Zealand, though, ripping it back. No, they get penalised. Oh, boy, that's an interesting one. Andrew Brace penalising the All Blacks. Was Derry's knee down in the tackle from Eben Hetzebeth? I believe so. And now they're going to take on the shot here, the Springboks. They will go from being down by 10 to being up by 7. We're going to see the replay. Derry's knee was down. But those little moments in a game, they've said Savia through the side as well. And we have got their Kiwis going to be sulking this week, blaming the ref, says Adrian. They probably have a bit of an argument in some cases, I will just say, for this contest. All you got to do is look at that first try and then you'll see. 3 minutes left. Sasha Fainberg Ngumezulu, he needs this kick. Because if he gets this, the best that New Zealand can do is a draw. Is it going over? Oh, he's missed it. He shanked it away to the side in the moment that mattered the most. He's missed it. And now, there's still 3.5 minutes remaining. New Zealand still playing with 14. Heaney has said, I'm disgusted by a majority of these comments by South Africans here. Says Heaney in 3 minutes, says Kingman. Now New Zealand looking for the 22 dropout. They have to go short. Caleb Clark. Oh, he doesn't get it. In fact, it's Rieko Ioane. Wrestles Krill towards the touchline. He's fallen the wrong way, but he has just managed to keep that ball in the field. Now back. Grant Williams goes to Sasha Fainberg Ngumezulu. He sends that one into the Ellis Park night sky. Taken by McKenzie. Colby now making the tackle on Mark Talia. New Zealand, they can't afford to give up possession here. Bowden Barrett, little chipping behind. Mackenzie Jason, bounce of the ball is not favourable for South Africa, but they still have got the possession, managing to do just enough to hang on to it. Malcolm Marks goes across to Vincent Koch. And now Grant Williams, they've got 90 seconds. Are they going for a drop kick? No, they go high. Again for Sasha Fainberg Ngumezulu, testing Mark Talia under the high ball. He manages to take it. Goes across to Geordie Barrett. The All Blacks, they don't need a converted try, but they need a try to be able to win this game. Rieko Ioane gets tackled. They're only 22 metres out from their own line at the moment here. New Zealand, Ratama goes across to McKenzie. Wide cut out pass is cut out. Summer Penny Finau, big fend on Colby, runs into Talia, and it's an advantage for a knock-on. Savia, the pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Talia again goes back to Null. McKenzie to Bowden Barrett. Why are they kicking that one? He's gone in behind again. It seems like Bowden's trying to gift the Boks the win here. Now 40 seconds remaining here. Bowden Barrett has tried 2 kicks in behind. Both of them have gone straight into the hands of the Springboks. 30 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen, in this contest. Grant Williams, they will now look to use their forwards, Evan Etzebeth, enticing the All Blacks into trying to attack him. And that might be their ball, actually. No, not quite. 15 seconds remaining here. South Africa hanging on to possession. They need 2 more phases and they will win this one. Vincent Koch, tackle well. New Zealand, Sam Derry wanted it. They protect it. 3 seconds remaining. The Boks will run this one backwards and Williams will kick it into touch. The Springboks win it. 31 points to 27. 4 points the margin. This is an interesting one because this one's going to have a lot of talk about it, but both sides playing an epic game of rugby. The Springboks, they will know that they pulled that one off by the skin of their teeth, but they will take it. Y'all are real quiet now. What happened to the Abbies embarrassing the Boks, says Wingalo in there as well. I mean, to be fair, I think we can admit both sides of fans for this whole week have been almost unbearable. You know, like we've had plenty of comments coming in as well, but this game, like, it's not going to be one that doesn't cause controversy, if that makes sense. Like, it is unfortunately one of those ones that you can look at some of the decisions and you can say things went wrong, but at the end of the day, the players still had enough time to be able to go on and win the game. The All Blacks had their chances 2 times in those last 2 minutes. What was Bowden doing? Kicking that one in behind, giving the Springboks the ball back. And South Africa average on the refs, make them look good. See, it's Fraser, what a comeback by the Springboks. Yeah, down by 10, ahead by 4 at full time. And that is the massive, massive ability that we have seen. The impact off the bench, the injury of Kurtley Arendse, it looked like that could have been a difference point. As your commentary, the commentary behind the live score a little bit. I think by like 10 seconds or so. And we have got there, I think Samish says Russell, and All Blacks 1 in the hearts. Box 1 with the ref. Says Karen there, an excellent commentary, sir. Says, Roger, thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. Of course, we are going to be back next week with the next contest between these two sides. I predicted the Boks to win by 2. They won by 4. So I feel like that wasn't terrible. Bongi's try is huge. It was the difference maker. But once again, like at the time, they didn't know that that was the case, you know, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, that is for sure. The ref is the ref, says Kyle there. And we have got the thank you very much, mate, says Welsh Dragon Rugby, and another loss for Backstabber Razor, says Lawrence, ref and TMO are going to get hammered for the first one, says Rio, and what a game, bro. Yeah, like, just quickly, outside of the refereeing, outside of the TMO, what a game of rugby between these two sides in terms of the back and forth, the edge of the seat kind of game that we knew we would get at Ellis Park. Like, it's just one of those games that if it backs up next week and is very similar to this one, it's going to be an epic game yet again. We are going to be back. We're going to be covering the whole competition on the channel as well as all the internationals that are taking place. Thanks, Hamish. And for years, the AB's dictated to the rest, so stop crying, says Nico. And also, we there, thanks for your time and giving us the game. And wait, is the match over? It is indeed. The end score 31 points to 27. New Zealand scoring the 4 tries in the contest. Cody Taylor, Caleb Clark getting 2, and Geordie Barrett scoring the other. Mbanambi kind of scored the first try. No, well, it was awarded. Yes, there was a knock on, but that was outside of the point. Quagga Smith, the impact player off the bench, and Grant Williams, also a member of that bomb squad, who managed to make the difference there. We have got there great commentary, Hamish. Thanks for the unbiased approach. Well played to both teams, says Adrian. And also we have got there seriously unbelievable, says Alexander. Sloppy game, sorry ABs, but a winner's win, says Yako. And also we did get there off for Toanga Fussy sucks. You could say that, but at the same time, we've also got to remember like that one penalty against Summer Penny Finau was the difference maker. That is the one that the Springboks also scored off because he was told by the ref, get out of it. He sat there going, where? Here in the break. And then the ref gave the advantage against him. So there were many decisions that I think both sides will be happy but also disappointed with the way they played in this game. There's a lot that could have changed in this contest. And I hope that we do end up seeing next week the changes implemented and see how they play in the rematch. And thanks so much, Hamish, says Gita. And also, we have got there, Africa shouldn't have gone on the first try. Yeah, but it's one of those ones, like, South Africa can't be blamed for the refereeing error. You know, like, South Africa as a whole, the Springboks as a whole, like, it wasn't their fault that it wasn't called. Like, they could only do what was on the field, if that makes sense. And Mbanambi would have felt like he got that ball down. Something that does need to get addressed a little bit is the All Blacks discipline. A lot of penalties against them in this contest, ladies and gentlemen, and they were probably lucky to only have the 1 yellow card from the amount of penalties inside of the 22. We have got their drop ball, first block try, says Jack. It was, yes. The highlights beyond, says Byron, so the highlights will be on the Rugby Championship one. I'm ashamed of the terrible comments. Some people have to wash their mouths out with some biological poison. It was a good match, says Andrina. Brilliant stream as always, bro, says Darren. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. And news just in, go and smash this TV. And also, we've got the All Blacks discipline is bad, bro. And Finau is not AB's level yet. Our bench needs a lot of work, says Yowza. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that they didn't go with, I think Papali'i had a bit of an injury, but Jacobson might have been a good option off the bench, although he might also be nursing a bit of an injury as well. Great game, Reflow. Great game, it's only entertainment at the end of the day, says Gita. And go on, Hamish, get off that fence, says Fleshin. And there as well. And we're a green type for the next week, says Rudolph. Yeah, I will mention we have got another live stream taking place in 5 hours' time, ladies and gentlemen. I really enjoyed the game. The box attack coach is the problem. Is that just because he's not from South Africa, though? Because he is a New Zealander? And better team of the day. Lost sadly, says Heaney. The game was clearly a fluke, says Edgelord. And brilliant game, says Bruce. Yeah, like, in terms of entertainment value, like, it just went back and forth all throughout the game. And the counter-attacking rugby that we saw throughout this match was just impeccable, wasn't it? And okay, Jeff Wilson's not happy, as you would expect. The All Blacks need to kick better. And the next game, yeah, and like those last ones, but with Beauden Barrett, 1 minute left, you can't afford to give up possession. Yes, if you give away a penalty inside of your 22, it's unfortunate. But if you just kick the ball away and give them to the opposition, that makes it very tricky to win a game for the ABs. And they'll learn that. That'll be something that they do look at for next week. How can we improve the kicking aspect of the performance? The Springboks, they will look at the amount of handling errors that they had in this game, and they will still say as well, maybe they need a bit of fine-tuning and can't wear a green tie in front of a green screen. More accurately, it would be hilarious. Says Gus, and that's right, Hamish, good point. Says Sandor, and Kiwis are always formidable. Saffers know this, and we respect New Zealand players. Says Peter, and game showed anything can happen in South Africa home ground, says Karen. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will have a post-match review, which I do fear, because no matter what I say, I think I'm going to get ridiculed, because of course you guys can see, or you can hear, I am from New Zealand. And even though we called this game down the middle, impartial, like as soon as I say anything about this game, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed in the comments. So if you guys want to help me out, be sure to check out that preview when it does come out in probably about an hour's time, maybe a little bit less. Be sure to, just comment saying, oh, you're not too bad, Hamish. You don't deserve to get crucified. Commentary is very good. Felt like I was watching the game live, says Enrico. Thank you very much, mate. No one cheated from the players. Do not blame anyone. A man can take a hit without whining like a little puppy, says Kerno Wick. And Eben Jesper, Kwaga Bongi, Damien Sasha were great. See, it was bad, says Hori Clap. And Hamish, I don't want to hear anything about Bongi and saying that New Zealand were lucky not to be down to 10 men. And you're great, Hamish, bro, says Walter. And we'll do Kiwi Lad, you rock. And thanks again for the fantastic commentary, Hamish, says Tony there as well. But nonetheless, like I said, thank you very much for tuning in. It was a great game. Like, in terms of, like, yes, some people won't enjoy the result. And, like, entertainment-wise, I had a good time. I enjoyed it. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the teams change next week. And what changes in that starting lineup both of these sides decide to make. We will be doing videos throughout the week. The lineup prediction. I thought you thought it was in the bag, didn't you, Hamish? I did not. When there were 10 points ahead by the All Blacks, people were starting to say the All Blacks have got it. And I made a comment at that time and I said 10 points is not enough up against a side like the Springboks, because if they score, then they're only just behind. And at the same time as people were happy with where the All Blacks were, I knew that it wasn't done and that they needed at least one more try to be able to win. You're the only one I listen to. Thanks for your great commentary, says Live Life, or Live Life, I should say. You're doing a grand job. Well done, mate, says Dennis. And there as well. And we have got there, will the New Zealand rank change? I don't believe so. Oh, no, I don't think so. It's really hard to lose rankings up against the number one side. Whereas if the number one side lose, like, they get a massive depletion in terms of their ranking. I think the rugby novice type, they would have loved the entertainment, says Gita, and you're good, man. I'll allow you to keep bashing South Africa with your hate speech. Well played, the Bok. And how many times have the ABs blown a lead, reoccurring theme here? Yeah, and once again, second half, they only scored the try of Geordie Barrett. In the games up against Argentina, they scored some points in the first half, but they didn't score. Oh, sorry, they scored the try of Caleb Clark as well, I should say, but they never score as many points as you think they should in the second half. When are the highlights available? It will be on the Rugby Championship YouTube channel very soon. Probably in the next, 15 or so minutes. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you haven't already, like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be back for Argentina versus Australia, which is taking place in about 5 hours' time. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button there. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.